Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song, in the old neighborhood. As the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream. The shadows of that time are cast beneath the streetlight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to the second half of the show. So this is going to be Culture News. So this right here is a very important conversation because many a times there's like a narrative, and I call it like preparing your own script, right? So generally, even I would give examples of, how like blacks, they talk about, black unity. So they would talk about like black identity itself in America. So the black identity was given by white people. So you cannot go back to that and say, okay, that's where the foundation is. So many a times, for example, in real life, the things that become issue between, let's say, people who are like into this super blackness, like the black superiority, because there are many who they have like a written script in their head, or I don't know, wherever they got it from. So they have a superiority complex. So when they come across someone who's from Africa, or maybe you have an accent, so they would just assume, like whatever their version of whatever Africa is, that's what it would be. So, for example, if you're talking to, some of these people who are super black, they would refer to Africa as a continent, not as a country. So if you're someone who's from an African country, so like you correct them, you're like, nah, I'm from this place. Or like if you're all the way from West Africa, so they will be like, oh, I know someone who's from Kenya. You're like, oh yeah, two completely different areas. They would insist to try to tell you, no, it's just one Africa. You're like, yeah, I get that, but Africa is huge. You can't be from all over Africa. You're from a region, from from a country. So with most of these people, they see that as a challenge instead of um, changing their mindset to be like, oh, whatever I've been fed is not it's not reality. And also, when they approach you, they would approach you in they have an idea of, let's say, if they watch, let's say, National Geographic. So if they show some remote tribe and they see that, so guess what? Now that remote tribe represents the whole of Africa. So even if they meet you and you try to explain that, they don't want to hear it because that's going to destroy their entire narrative. So that also comes with culture, and you're seeing this conversation online here. So there's an interesting video. I want to break it down. Um, I want to um, tackle some of the narratives, that are created, and break it down so that we understand why things are the way they are, you know. And if you are operating in the real world, for example, um, these conversations right here makes you wonder, like, okay, why would someone so like if I meet somebody, like generally Africans, people from the continent don't go around asking other Africans, what is your tribe? So also you would see them bring up tribe and then turn it around and be like, oh yeah, these Africans are tribalist. But myself as an African, like, I will not discuss tribe with, like, let's say someone from America, black person, because they don't have a concept of how our tribal makeups are. So it would, if the person doesn't want to understand, it's a waste of time to try to, you know, explain it. For example, let me give you an example. Like earlier today, I was on a live on TikTok, and they have this prompt. I mean, for whatever reason, they have this obsession to discuss Africans. But if they have a discussion with somebody from an African country who has a clear understanding of these things, you know, um, the conversation changes quick to, oh, you hate me, oh, you people don't like us. So today we are not going to do that. People don't have the time to walk around hating on people. I would bring you honest conversation. So I went on this live on TikTok, and there was a black guy there. So his entire obsession, the question, you know, he was asking me suggestive laden questioning, like, oh, what tribe are you? Are you Yoruba, Tutsi? So, so he's naming all the, tribes that, you know, he's heard. So someone like that, for example, if you tell them your actual tribe, they will call you a liar because it doesn't fit their, their script. Like they just learned about Yoruba, Tutsi, Hutu. Why wouldn't you be one of those? So that's where the confusion is. And I watch him, another person comes, he asks them the same question, despite hearing the guy, given the country he's from. So, and the guy answered it, and it did not fit his tribal, whatever he learned, just as predicted. He was upset. He's like, oh, you're lying. Africans are always lying. So it's like, okay, who creates the problem here. The individual is trying to have a correct conversation with you, but for whatever reason, they think African people are going to be lying to them. So I don't want to keep you waiting. Let's get straight into this conversation, and you will see exactly what I'm saying. Some of the reasons that, these black extremists give themselves as to why they should hate Africans, like some of the narratives. One minute Africans sold them, another minute Africans didn't come get them. Then they would swing to the copied. So you will see that in this conversation. And someone might ask, why do you analyze these videos? Because as you can see, we've been analyzing them for years. They never stop. They just keep coming. They just keep coming. And there are people, it's because they feel like, a lot of these black extremists, they think Africans should follow them. I mean, why would a group of people follow you? You can't even name, majority can't name 5 different countries apart from Nigeria in Africa. So, like, they don't give a damn knowing the country whatsoever. All they know is you are African and you got to follow them. And also they want you to hate like, whatever you see, they want you not to believe your lying eyes. So clearly, the quote unquote kumbaya, they talk about the unity. I can never see that happening. The only way it would happen is Africans have to pretend like white liberals and go along, with a bunch of the lies. But I don't see that happening. But regardless, I'll bring you the conversation, just in case you run into these conversations. If you're new African, you would understand where this is coming from. So this is fair use. So they are going to be analyzing a video from Zanu, and they are going to be you would see a lot of even the hate and anger coming out, because nothing pisses these black extremists than an African speaking facts. Okay, so let's go here. This is fair use, fair use.
African Americans in this country are the only groups. They have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them.
But currently, there's not an African American culture?
No.
Yes, there is.
What is it?
All right, welcome back to another video of Overreacting. No booker, but I go by the name of Eli. As always, we got Ace with us.
Yes, indeed. Have no fear, but Ace is here.
As always, we got Jew as well.
What it do? It's your boy Jew, and we out here overreacting for you. More content, more clips. Make sure you like and subscribe to that.
Okay. Oh, the censored version. Okay, all right. I respect
Got my man Dave here, you heard?
No, why?
This
This is for me, bitch.
He goes full uncensored shit right now.
We got a special guest for today's reaction. We got Dave Anderson with us.
Yes, indeed.
We got a clip was sent over to us by you guys, the viewers. We're going to play the clip, come back and give our thoughts on it.
African Americans in this country are the only groups. They have no culture. It depends on who you meet, where you meet them.
But currently, there's not an African American culture?
No.
Yes, there is.
What is it? Name 2 value systems in the African American culture.
Value system?
Yes. Name 2 taboos in the African American culture system. Name 2 traditions, by the way, in the African American culture.
So they are reviewing Zanu's video. So it's a conversation. He's asking genuine questions here. And if you notice, most of the time, if you are asking, it's called the Socratic method. Don't argue with the person, just ask them, critical questions to the topic. And you would soon see how they would react. And some of these people in this podcast, we would hear their backgrounds as well. So here we go.
System. There is no value for freedom if you don't understand what it is. The concept of free. You have to have a foundation on which it would balance when you ask for it. Civil rights, they give it to you. You have no culture. Nancy, You've been here, born here. Why would you be surprised if I say African Americans don't have a culture? What, twerking? So anything
But I feel like African American culture has definitely
you say
mainstream.
No, you say the word, the African American culture. What is it? Okay, fine.
Like hip hop.
Oh,
not
Jesus
hip hop. I mean, I don't want to.
So most of the time, all the conversations, the people would claim hip hop. Hip hop is just a subculture in America. I mean, it's not based in race, but here we go.
Look,
yes, I feel like
you haven't thought about it. It's fine. Don't make things up.
I'm not making it up.
Okay,
I feel like
then educate me. You feel, you should know. You were born and raised here.
Yes, but I have.
Yes, Paul, twerking. The blacks invented twerking.
Are you African American?
I'm Haitian American.
That's correct. Do you see why you were being specific with that? Because anybody who encounters you already knows you before. If they know you are Haitian, at least two things comes to their mind.
What is that?
If they've been to Haiti, they can look at work ethics and they say, yes, Haitians, I know them. Service industry, they know where they do well. Food, they can say yes. And even language, Creole.
Right.
And they can say, oh, I love Haitians. Because they saw the culture in abstract before they encountered you. So people go over the bridge of your culture, your tradition, your customs, and that helps them to know how to
address me.
Exactly. I'm saying to you, any people who ask for these things, which are
This is very important. Wherever you go, you have to know their culture and then know what their customs are and how to address them. And he's correct. Like black majority, the group here, that you don't know what their customs are, how to approach different. One of them are, they all have their own different ways of doing things. So, you don't know what is the custom. So the man is correct. So here we go.
abstract freedom, for example, independence, for example, and civil rights, for example, voting rights, for example. You must have a foundation on which these things are going to balance.
I would meet African immigrants who would speak about African Americans.
Oh, bad.
They would.
So, this guy is a comedian, Trevor Noah. So it's an added video, a cut clip. It is not part of that conversation, but we'll hear it, and then let's see, because you're already seeing the body language, the facial expressions. You're about to find out. So here we
just
go.
be like, why don't they work? Like they're like Republican
They're like
in their
mean
vibes.
white people. Like, worse, actually.
If we're honest,
well, worse because
they don't
they're
want
entitled.
to. They don't want to work.
Yes, exactly.
Let me tell you something about Black
Dude, don't crack
Americans.
me up with this, bro.
They don't want to
I've
work.
heard this, yes.
They don't go to school.
Right.
They love to do
all
crime.
of these axes.
They
Why are you wasting
They
these?
love to do crime. They love to do crime. Let me tell you something.
They love to do crime.
They are not African American. They're just American. I don't know why they put African. The way they are dressed.
So I don't know what accent Trevor Noah is trying to do, but Trevor Noah is from South Africa. So I don't know if South Africans, that's what they say whatsoever, but he's trying to copy a certain accent. I'm not sure which one exactly. So I don't want to assume, but he's a comedian. He's telling a joke. So here we go.
Their pants, their trousers are falling. And you're like, wow, this is like full on.
Dude, I have relatives like this.
Dave, obviously, we gonna get to you.
Sure.
But fellas, what's your thoughts on this? And let me start here with Ace, because me and you recently, we just did a video. I don't think you was here. You was in Dubai.
Get the fuck out of here.
So these conversations are very fun. Now he's giving it to them. Let us hear what they gotta say.
But I do want to get your thoughts on this whole situation, because you are somebody who is Caribbean American. What's your thoughts on this?
So take note, the guy is Caribbean American, so that means he's a tether. Let's take that into account and remember that.
I mean, yeah, my parents are from the Caribbean. I was born and raised here. But you was? Listen, you Dominican, so I don't even know why you're talking to me. Anyway, not Dominican.
So the whole podcast seems to be tethers, right? So this is what probably Tariq talks about. It is Caribbeans and others that represent them. But these people, if you notice, they generally are the ones who try to bring their hate energy onto Africans as well, even though the conversation is about Black American. So here we go.
I'm just saying your papers.
¿Qué lo que?
Damn.
¿Qué lo que?
I'm not trying to be disrespectful, bro. I'm just asking.
¿Por qué?
Go ahead.
With the 4K, he just went Duolingo.
But yeah, as a person that grew up here, I'm really tired of hearing this because, like I said, my parents are from the Caribbean. I go to the Caribbean often. I see the influence of the culture everywhere I go.
So you notice they are talking about the culture here. He is now saying he goes to the Caribbean and he sees the cultural influence. Now let him tell us what that cultural influence is. Because if you're having a hard time explaining it, then, you know, it might not be there. So they have a tether to explain it. But this is about to get interesting. It's about to get interesting.
Travel often, I see the influence of the American culture everywhere I go. So
bingo, you just proved Zanu's point. The American culture. The American culture. So he already destroyed his argument from the beginning. This is what they get for bringing in a second generation tether to be their spokesperson.
When I hear people talk like this, it just baffles me to the point where I'm like, y'all just ignorant at that point. Y'all don't take the time to do your research before y'all go on these platforms and talk. Like it's just infuriating at this point. And I could just imagine how people who parents are from here, the grandparents from here feel when they hear stuff like this. Your blood gotta be boiling. Like it's just I don't know, ignorant at this point.
So he clearly didn't say anything. You know, they sat there, they listened, and he would have come and be like, okay, oh no, Zanu, you're wrong. We got, this is boom, 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 boom. This is Black American culture, this. He didn't do that. He invoked emotion. Emotion. See, Zanu did not talk about Jamaica. His background is Jamaica. He goes to Jamaica. So why do they need a Jamaican to come and speak for them? So let's see how this cultural conversation, what it's going to morph into eventually.
Drew.
Time and time again, you know.
Real quick, I do need you to clear up that, because a lot of people, they going to, oh, he's Jamaican. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, explain to the folks that your parents' lineage.
Okay, so my mom is an African-American woman
in
America. My father is born in Jamaica.
All right, another tether. Are you guys seeing a pattern here? You seeing a pattern? Okay, so we're talking about Black American culture, but they have so far 2 Jamaicans speaking on their behalf. So let's continue.
So people get mad when I say my father is a Jamaican, but I am African American. I was born here, raised here, lived here.
Sir, if you're Jamaican American, you are not African American. Your father is not directly from Africa. So do you guys see, you know, where the confusion comes for Black Americans? Because you are battling people like them. You know, if you're having a Black American culture discussion with Black American, you end up with guys like this. You know, and they are, you know, they can't even express themselves. But this is what you're dealing with. So here we go.
Not Dominican. Before we got to throw the hands, we was talking about, you know what I mean, them reality TV shows. This gonna be real. All right.
That's scripted. Like, yeah.
All right. All right. But when it comes to, you know, I've heard it plenty of times from even my family on the Jamaican side. So, you know, and I gotta sit here and I feel the frustration and the anger that us African Americans have to live with every day.
So you're Jamaican American. So you see, both these guys gotta pretend to pander to Black Americans' feeling. They are acting like they feel sorry for them about this cultural conversation. They are making the whole thing sound weird to make it seem like it's an inferior thing not to, you know, have your original culture. You see? So you notice both of them, their parents are from Jamaica directly, and 1 minute they're like, oh yeah, it infuriates us because we are African American. So they want to throw their own other family under the bus. So let's hear more of these, Caribbean babble here.
Gotta defend my mother because we're so lazy, we're on welfare, we don't have any culture. And I'm also tired of, that same angry when they steal everything about us, from the way we walk, from the way that we talk, from the way we prepped our meals. And yes, I don't disrespect anyone else's culture. They have their thing too, but when you come here, you have to respect us. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're here because of us, first of all.
So here we go. So a Jamaican tether is that now you see how this guy, his father is Jamaican, he's fighting so hard, to say he's African American, and then he morphed into FBA talking point, and FBA would call him a tether. FBA said if it wasn't for them, these Jamaicans wouldn't be here, and Africans. So now he's saying if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't even be here. But I'm not quite sure yet who he's talking about. So the conversation is not about knowing each other. It's not about being genuine. No, it's about them being in their feelings, talking about things that they have no knowledge about. Have you noticed so far, none of them can express themselves, logically for people to even understand what they are saying. It seems like they just came and sat there and say whatever. Both of them are tethers. So they've proven that. So why are they talking for the FBA people? So here we go.
So I think that people they only want to be with us when they can gain something from us. But when those criminal lists comes out, we don't talk about how many, Africans, Haitians, Jamaicans are a part of those crimes on the statistics, and they're not.
So we're talking about culture, but he's fixated on what the comedian said. So this is supposed to be culture talk where you bring something constructive, so that you get to understand one another. But no. The guy is babbling. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be here. Talking about criminals. But what's that have to do with, do Black people here have culture? What is it? It's as simple as that. No need to meander around like as if you are the River Nile. You don't need to act like the River Nile. Just answer the question. Well, what do I expect from a Jamaican tether representing the Blacks? Hopefully one of them or two of them would be real Black. So here we go.
Not Black then, but you're in that same category. You're categorized as a Black person. We're all one.
Yeah.
If we took more time to build with each other and understand that as us being Black Americans follow our lead, we'll get further in life.
So he's in reality Jamaican. From Jamaican, he went to African American to becoming black. And, people don't want to be black till it benefits them. And I mean, I've been asking, what is the benefit of, pretending to be black? Unless you're Rachel Dollars or Kamala. I mean, I don't see, like, the people you're talking about, like someone like me, straight from the black factory. Yeah, as if, yeah, I have the option, I can just, pretend to be an Indian maybe tomorrow when I wake up, oh, what you're seeing, I look black to you, but I am in fact not black. I am Chinese. This guy is not making any sense. So this is how the conversations go. This is how it goes. Nothing, nothing intelligent about it. Nothing real about it. These guys don't even know what they are talking about. They have to make it as they go. It's not based in reality. So here we go.
And I just hate that they had a person that wasn't a foundational Black American and on interviewing the dude that was talking at first, the guy, cause like he answered her questions like, yo, she Haitian, like how she gonna be able to answer them questions?
Guys, do you guys see why I was telling you to pay attention to who there? Do you guys see the hypocrisy? He said, why is he talking to that lady? She's Haitian. That lady was born and raised here like them, the same background. But he said, why didn't they bring an FBA to talk? They bring in that lady. Why are they, him and that guy, up there talking when they are in fact Jamaicans? Usually I don't mention that, but I want you guys to see where the confusion is with this entire thing. Two people sat here to, we all heard them say they are Jamaican, but they pretended to go on calling themselves African American to Black American, and then circle back and have problems with why they are in fact interviewing, having that conversation with that lady, because that lady is of Haitian background just like them. So let's hear more.
And then it comes off as a gotcha moment.
Yeah,
can't properly articulate stuff. They must not have no culture. Dave, what's your thoughts on this? So patient over there.
Oh no, this is fine. I love this. I really look about this. The one thing I love is to watch tether babble happen in real time. It's fun to me.
So so he must be the FBA. So he said there's not, he enjoy watching tether babble in real time. Yeah, I agree with you. You got two tethers babbling next to you. So you see his body language already showing he's got that Black superiority complex. How dare an African fix their mouth to even say culture and Black American in the same sentence? That type of dude. You can see the negative energy all over. They are the types, they find all kind of excuses to hate African type of dude. That's him. So he's talking about quote unquote tether babble. The two Jamaican tethers just babbled right in front of them. So they must be the ones he's talking about. But this is the confusion the Blacks deal with. Here we go.
The issue with Mr. Zanu is that he had someone who had neither the intellect or the pedigree to make the decision, not even the cultural frame of reference to be able to have that argument. So here is what Black culture actually is. It's built on the bedrock of the fact that we took chicken shit and made chicken salad. It's built on the bedrock that we...
So he's not explaining culture. He's explaining food. So if people ask you, for example, if this is an exam to describe his culture, he's saying it's like, what is your culture? They're not asking you what you make, what your food is. What is your culture? So he would have gotten an F. So that means if there's nothing there to talk about, then you don't have it. And there's nothing wrong in having that conversation. Malcolm X had it. Very smart black people had it. I've heard Malcolm X talk about black people have been stripped of their culture, their ways, their mores, their religion, their names, which is true. But we got black people telling us, being able to cook chicken, intestines, that's culture. They do that in many places. But here we go.
Took trash and made them delicacies. You ever heard of soul food? It's not called mayo food. Okay. The other part of that is, what are these things here, just off camera, above the cameras? What do you call it? Yeah. Do you realize that they give Edison the credit for the light bulb, but it was Latimer who got the filament going?
Latimer got the filament going, but how is that culture? Latimer is a mixed race black person. So now you are seeing he's proving Zanu's point. He is talking about a black person inventing something. Do you guys see this? So that would mean, is he implying that every black person can do it? That's what would make it a culture. But let's continue.
So if it wasn't for foundational black Americans, your ass would be in the dark. If you have ever been to the Red Cross, you owe a foundational black American a debt of gratitude. His name is Charles Drew.
Red Cross was formed, I believe, from Switzerland. But all right, again, he's not talking culture. He is speaking a totally different thing. What some black person did. It's not, that doesn't mean that's the culture. Like, because LeBron James plays basketball, is that black American culture now? It's just sports. He's good at it. Not every black person is good at it.
If you look at the fact that we have mailboxes and stoplights, that is all foundational black American innovation. The fact that George Washington Carver, y'all love to joke about peanut butter, but Henry Ford used George Washington Carver as an advisor, and the fact that you have cars on assembly lines and plants is the result of a foundational black American named George Washington Carver. Our culture, our music, why do you think
so, guys? If you've met these extreme blacks, now you see what I'm saying. This guy is not trying to have conversation. This guy is actually speaking in tongues now. He thinks he's in a church. He's giving a sermon. He's not even within the context of the conversation. So now, how can one hold a genuine conversation with someone like this? The things he's mentioning, that's not what the topic is about. But let's continue.
They just created a contemporary country category because Beyonce and a whole lot of people have come along and started singing country music en masse. They're scared to death of K. Michelle. K. Michelle got them shaking in their boots because foundational black Americans do things better. I do not go over to Haiti and talk about what Haitians got going on. I'm not Bill Clinton, nor am I Wyclef. Respect to both Bill Clinton and Wyclef. Keep your mouth shut about things that have nothing to do with you, that you are benefiting from because of my blood.
So, bingo, here we go again. So, this all emotional talk is about you, an African. You need to shut up. If white person says it, they are racist. But you, the African, you're benefiting from his blood, according to him. Do you guys see why the conversation will never be genuine? This guy have just expressed, emotion and ignorance in one sentence. There's no way you can talk to somebody who is confidently ignorant. He really thinks he's saying something. This guy is upset for simply Zanu asking the question. He said he doesn't go to Haiti, but you got Jamaicans on the show speaking on your behalf. So now it makes sense why these Jamaicans are afraid to speak the truth. And some of the Africans do this sometimes. The ones that want to fit in, they would talk just like those Jamaican tellers. And if you come asking the question, they man, shut up, you're trying to create division. But imagine the things this guy have said. This guy is clearly not a reasonable person. He's like, man, F the topic, our culture. So he's saying they are great innovators in America. That's what he is trying to tell us. That's not the same as culture. But here we go.
And yeah, this man is half Jamaican, but his mom is foundational. That makes him foundational. So he has a right to say whatever the hell he wants to, because 50% of his lineage comes back to us. And by the way, when any of you tethers have the unmitigated disrespectful gall to sit here and talk about what we don't have, show me in history when the warships came to come get us.
Oh, here we go again. Another narrative. So some of these people, when you have conversation with them, it always turned into emotional FBA babble. He said, you tethers, you got two tethers sitting with you. I don't know if the host in this show is a tether himself, but you've got emotional ignorance being expressed here. So how is African? So for them, simply because you're from Africa now, Africans should have come and got these slaves. What part of trade didn't he understand? Those slaves were sold. Okay? So over a period of 400 years. So he believes he is justified in bringing a talking point in today in 2025 again. He thought he's saying something against Africa. I didn't see the ships coming to get me. Sir, we don't have the receipt. That's why. How are we gonna get people who we don't have receipts for? Right? I just say that as a joke, but I'm just pointing out how ridiculous the man sounds. So these people don't know how to hold genuine conversation. It's all emotion and more emotion.
Until you can do that, I'm gonna need you to pipe down, because I don't want to hear about anything. We respect your culture. We respect what you bring to the table. And y'all don't have an issue. Jamaicans don't have an issue with hip hop culture, because last I checked, Beanie Man was doing a whole lot of hip hop stuff. And if it wasn't for Pharrell, he wouldn't have had that resurgence.
Sir, explain your culture. You are talking about celebrities, mainstream. Tell us the culture. So now he is acting like Beanie Man is the one saying this. Yeah, Pharrell and Beanie Man collaborated. That's not you. He talked about Beyonce and country music. So Beyonce is the first person that started doing country music. White people know nothing about country music. They just copying Beyonce. Okay.
Sorry. Like, are we kidding? Do we not think that Burna Boy didn't take a page out of hip hop? You bugging. Again, I stand down. Akon can sit up here and say that Africans are the best performers, but he was begging to get on that Michael Jackson Thriller 25 record and did a version of Wanna Be Starting Something. Stop playing. Would you have gotten Locked Up? Because I remember when Locked Up first was released and Steve Rifkin was going to.
This guy has a lot of stuff on his heart. So this is how as you guys know, a lot of these people seem to have a lot of unresolved issues. So, he's going to tell us about all the people, he's got in mind, Akon, Beanie Man, Burna Boy, all of them. Yeah, because those are the people having this conversation here. Okay. Let's hear him tell us more.
Different record labels and playing it, and we was like, it's all right. You know what it really needs? It needs a Styles P verse. Shout out to my dude Styles P. Boom, they went back and recorded that verse, and that thing was fire. So stop downplaying us like you don't want to be us. Because to quote the late great Paul Mooney, everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. So yeah, until such time as they want to have a conversation with a real foundational Black American with intellect, I really don't want to hear nothing about your tether babble. And you being an African, Stephen, and we're going to have a conversation because we.
So, are you guys hearing this? Yeah, he believes he's having intellectual talk. Yeah, red illusion. Exactly. Black Americans, they will say, we are superior. Our evidence, Dr. Dre. Our evidence, Beyonce. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's exactly what it is here. You're seeing it right in front of you. He said, Tether Bible, when he's sitting with two open tethers. They're not even hiding. So, yeah, Zongo, Tether Bible.
Did say we were going to talk, and I can't wait for that conversation. You having tether babble with a Haitian that don't know a damn thing about Black Americans
clearly
is not only disingenuous, it's disrespectful.
Wait, is he forgetting his two friends there? Did you hear the other one saying clearly? I bet you if one of them had said even something slightly true, trust me, they would become a tether in no time. Because, there are, people like him, it's like Tariq, the rules are not, fully, they are not written. You can change them, as you go. Yeah. I mean, if the person can say something and they can become a tether in the next minute. So, yeah.
Respectful. Sure. And the fact that she said, well, I'm Haitian, and she couldn't do it. Of course she couldn't do it. It's not her culture. Yeah. I can't tell you a damn thing about Haiti other than the fact that it's beautiful and Bill Clinton robbed y'all blind.
How many Black Americans do you come across like him who would tell you about Haitian quote-unquote history? You notice how they know everyone's history, but the moment you are saying something they don't like, you do not know them. They want you to believe they are the most complicated people in the world. Do not believe your lying eyes. So your two Jamaican buddies, your two Jamaican tether buddies sitting next to you, so they know everything. But that woman, the Haitian American woman, she doesn't know anything about Black America, even though she was born and raised here. Okay.
In 1804, but I ain't speaking on Haiti because that's not my house. Mm-hmm. This here is my house, and as long as you're a guest in my house, you will act accordingly or I'll force you to.
Spit your game, Tokyo.
Listen, one thing that I do appreciate about my lineage as a Black American, foundational Black American. I know we get tired.
I mean, is he full foundational? I mean, the hairline is questionable, but we'll leave that to the FBAs.
Tied up with the ADOS, foundational Black, the Moors. So I heard Sulani. I heard a lot of different terms to describe indigenous Black people, or slaves of chattel ancestors, descendants of chattel slavery. But one thing I do appreciate is the resilience. Our people have fought for everything in this country, and we never needed to go to another country to live a better lifestyle. We didn't piggyback off the backs of others to flee this country in order, and I hate to use the word flee because it sounds so derogatory.
So you notice it always comes down to, it's like, yeah, you fled, you came here. The white people that built America, the ones that brought the slaves here, yeah, they fled Europe. The religious persecution, freedom, they fled. They came here and built a country and brought Africans to make them slaves here. So if Africans fled here, that's not something new in America. They think they are dissing people for coming to America. 1 minute, yeah, we're the reasons you came here, but we are delineating, we're not the same. So yeah, Africans say we are the descendants of chattel slavery. So aren't you descendant of the slaves? Like, why is that a derogatory thing? That's what you are. Unless you want to tell us you are not, then why do you talk about reparation? It's like these people do not make sense. It's like they would brag about twerking and gang activity, but when you point out how degenerate that is, and they know it is, then all of a sudden, oh, you're being disrespectful. But there are people online bragging, showing how much of a great twerker they are. So it's the same thing. He's not gonna say much. He's just gonna do emotional babble, just like the rest of them.
Something like that.
Why? If they fled, they fled. If it was war torn, it was war torn.
We stood here and we fought for every right that we have, and I appreciate my ancestors for doing that. And again, this is not. I try not to get into the diaspora wars, kind of like gender wars. I try because I see the bigger picture.
Sure.
And I know us globally as a collective.
Guys, can you imagine people setting up cameras, microphones, putting themselves on air, but truly do not know what they are talking about? Everything is about beef, disrespect. You're like, okay, the conversation is about culture. Like, what is your culture? You're analyzing a video that is talking about culture specifically. But no, it's like, okay, yeah, it's disrespectful. You guys should follow us. We don't want to start diaspora beef. Sir, we just want you to tell us what your culture is. That's all. How hard is this? Are you guys seeing this? This is why you cannot have genuine conversation. Blacks and Africans, true African people that want to speak truth, and Black, they can never do things together. It's not possible. Not if they are this emotional and they run away from the truth. They make everything, they turn it into emotional thing. Even their own status, just to feel big, they would even say you are disrespectful for acknowledging it. If we don't acknowledge that you are the descendants of slaves here, we would be lying to ourselves. And if people don't acknowledge it, that's what is disrespectful, because they are trying to give you a different identity, which is not true. So these people are super confused.
Is way more powerful than us being divisive and
Certainly.
whatever the case is. But again, the lack of respect needs to be checked, like you said. And I'm not advocating violence. I
No.
mean, motherfuckers go out and shoot them. Whoever's say another thing out your mouth. And I'm gonna. Nah, I ain't saying all that, but there needs to be a level of respect. When you come to this country, that you need to give automatically. Like, is none of this. We have to prove our blackness to y'all. We have to prove how African we are to y'all. Like you said, we don't have to do none of that. Just have to respect, just like we have the respect for y'all. And I'm tired of y'all using the, oh, we got made African booty scratchers when we was kids.
Whoopity.
So it turns into a therapy session. Uh so yeah, I mean, this is clearly like, low, like, these people are way too emotional to have real conversation. So now they're veering off. It seems like they're addicted to conflict and victimhood. So they want to transfer that energy onto Africans. They didn't answer what their culture is. Now they're talking about, oh, yeah, we need to be we need to be respected. Don't you think people would respect you more if they know what your culture and your customs are? They would know how to approach you, how to interact with you. This is what culture and customs is all about. It's nothing else. It's not about someone elevating you or downgrading you. No, they trying to know you, to know your patterns, your mannerism. So if you don't tell it, after they're around you for some time, they would observe it on their own. That's what human brain is for. Pattern recognitions, stereotypes, what they see, what they deal with. So you guys are proving Zanu's point in this podcast.
Do
everybody got if y'all knew anything about black culture, y'all would know that roasting is a part of black culture. Like, y'all not used to that. So y'all coming over here, y'all not understanding the nuances of roasting. That's what we do. We roast everybody. I got called it. I'm pretty sure we all got called it at some point. We never looked at it.
I've been called Dominican 10 times.
You gotta roast back. Like, that's.
I mean, your hair is curly. You are of a certain complexion. You know this for that summer.
Yo, man, there's a lot of Bodmans out there. You know, we curly hair. You heard?
Yeah, going on out there too. Like,
He do got J. Cruz. I ain't gonna lie, man.
This man does not own Activator. I will not have you have all this. There's too much Jew slander happening on this show right now. Wait, can I say it? Never mind.
Listen, but again, there's so much to be proud of in our culture.
For sure.
And I'm glad that we are starting to delineate, because I don't think delineation is a bad thing. Everybody else does it, you know,
right?
And whether they get awards and they.
So what is the culture? Are you guys seeing a pattern here? What is the culture? So they didn't explain the culture. They babbled. They trauma bond. They express, their scripted narratives, how they perceive their relationship with Africans should be. And then they went on to say, yeah, they're glad their culture, they are perfecting it, but they still haven't told us what it is. They just express their grievance for that question being asked.
Like Nigerian or what from Kenya, whatever the case is, everybody always feels the need to delineate themselves, and they have that right to do that.
Sure.
And now it's time for Black Americans, since we live in a country where we have to share a lot of our resources, and now our communities now are being pushed with a lot of different migrants and stuff like that. And what people in the diaspora don't understand is y'all live in a country where 90% of the population looks like you. You never experience racism. You don't know what diversity looks like. So
what is your culture, sir? What is your culture? That's all we are asking.
when you come to a country and you see the people who have been we're fighting racism and discrimination and all of these things since the beginning inception, and you not understanding that y'all have a privilege to come from a country that's primarily looks like y'all, and some of y'all can't even get it right. And you know what I mean? And this is not even no shots, but don't come over here and throw stones at a glass house and expect not to have pushback, man. And that's my only thoughts on that, you know. And the conversation is not gonna be gonna continue to have these conversations.
Is this for real? So these guys, they put chairs together, you know, put a setup, but let's be honest, like, are these people, have they said anything here? Anything that you can learn from? Wow. Okay.
Fortunately, but you know.
Yeah. My thing is, when you come over to this country, people don't know that you from another country, bro. They just look at you as another black person. You know what I mean? So the need for you to differentiate yourself is, I don't get it, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna be judged on what you did back in your country. You're gonna be judged on what you did here, and to them, you just another black American walking these streets or whatever.
Sir, we try, guys. Why is this so hard? So the other guys talking about, those tethers are babbling, and now they brought a tether speaking on their behalf. You can't make this up.
And black, what I'm learning in the diaspora too, black is really, when somebody says they're black, they are really referring to black Americans. Like we had that Jamaican, remember that Jamaican that we had? He said, "I'm not black."
Yeah.
He's Jamaican.
Right.
But he understood that the word identifying as black is specific to black American.
Correct.
Other people in the diaspora don't refer to themselves as black because everybody looks black, so there's no need to differentiate themselves. So again, when we use the term black, and we always use black excellent.
Isn't Zanu's question to the lady, what is black American culture? Isn't that what the question is? So they went on to tell us everything except what the culture is. Well, they did say roasting is their culture. Yeah, roasting. Majority of the time they would claim hip hop. They claimed it here without claiming it. They claimed it by naming singers. So yeah, the guy is just babbling. He's not going to answer the question. This is what you would normally get.
Right.
And we used to just chop it up as the diaspora.
That's when they black though.
Yeah, but we used to always chop it up as the diaspora. Like that's just overall African, like just the diaspora. But now people are differentiating, like, oh no, black is black American. The Nigerians, what they call us the Akata, like that's black American, like, you know what I'm saying? So they understand.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Akata, booty scratcher. Yeah, I mean, so these people, like, all you gotta do is ask the question and let them talk. So, now is it making sense to you why every question turns into a fight? They turn it into a fight. They bait you into arguing so that you do not get to the bottom of what is being asked. Somehow they are scared of the truth. So, but with these people, it's just being confidently ignorant.
The term black is reserved for black Americans, which is why they try to relinquish themselves from being black. Oh, I'm not black. I'm Ugandan or whatever the case. I'm Jamaican. I'm from whatever the case is. They understand that black is black Americans. So
Yeah, I think this is just like another tactic, like dark skin, light skin.
I'm gonna push
How you
back
feel
on
about
that,
that?
and I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm,
Go to a Vietnamese person and call them Japanese and see what happens to you.
okay.
Culture is important. Asia is a continent.
Mm,
Africa is a continent.
okay.
No Cambodian wants to be called Filipino.
Okay.
No Chinese person wants to be called Korean.
Okay.
There is delineation. It is a cultural difference.
Mm,
Period, point blank. There's nothing wrong with, again, show me people who are throughout the diaspora who every time you look on their Instagram profile, they got flags up. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it. Nah,
it's divisive.
nah, it's divisive because now you can't benefit in cosplay like you're one of us when you're not.
okay.
You do not have the same experience. You can go to Jamaica, right? And I'm not shitting on you, Ace, by any stretch of the imagination.
So
You can go to Jamaica right now and fit right in and understand everything that's being said to you.
yeah.
I can't. My culture is different. We didn't develop a language. What we did is called Ebonics. You know what I'm saying? We had to figure it out on our own, and nobody came for us. I'm sorry to break it to everybody, but Killmonger was right. Where was y'all? Where were you? Y'all was off doing this, that, and the third, and y'all was so happy to get your good grades, and you came over here and you're taking advantage of all because you have an immigrant.
Oh, sorry guys, I was muted. No, I was saying that so look at this guy. All he's doing, he's meandering around, but he can't, answer the question. I wonder why. Chuku, thank you for the super chat. He said black culture is conspicuous consumption, no snitching, and a shared group identity based on grievance and entitlement in order to milk white guilt. Sounds like it. Thank you for the super chat, Chuku. All right. So he's not going to answer the question. He's going to talk about Japanese, Vietnamese, all that. Somehow he knows that difference, but he doesn't know in Africa there's different countries, just like there's Japanese, Chinese, and all this.
Experience. Your parents had an immigrant experience. My parents are the parents of sharecroppers who are the children.
Wait, Kenny, am I reading this correctly? Kenny said the host of the show is not FBA. His mother and father are from Trinidad in the Caribbean. He had his mother on the show about a year ago where they discussed Americans being lazy. Kenny, you are joking. Guys, so that means this is a tether show and they brought one overly emotional FBA extremist and so these are Caribbean tethers over here cosplaying FBA. I get it. This is wild. Then the host lied because he's saying he's FBA. Okay.
The sharecroppers who are the children of slaves. You don't know what that is. And you do not understand there is a difference between a black immigrant experience versus a foundational black American experience.
Sir, you don't have to explain that. Like, you don't have to be black. Even white person, a white American, have a different experience from a white immigrant here. There's, you don't need to explain this. He said his ancestors were sharecroppers. They have different experience from somebody whose ancestors weren't sharecroppers. Hello, that's just common sense. That means he's implying that, being a sharecropper is the default position for black people. So these people are just too self-absorbed. They cannot see outside of themselves. They think their experience is the only relevant experience. So here we go.
You get some of the residue from the people, but
and it's funny, he's talking about something he's never experienced. I mean, isn't it wild how like some of these people, they passionately talk about, being slave or sharecroppers. None of them have ever experienced this. So, yeah.
But there is not the same system that is set up against you that is set up against us. Period. Because whether you are Japanese and you come over here and become a citizen, or you are Korean, you come over here and you're a citizen, or if you are from Uganda and you come over here and you're a citizen, you get certain benefits that we do not get. And if I'm lying, explain how people who came in this country illegally, you got Jasmine Crockett saying it's not a crime to come over here illegally. Illegally is in the name. It might be a civil offense, it might be a misdemeanor, but boo boo cakes, I hate to break it to you, I don't.
Guys, the link is in the chat. Hit the link. Yeah, I know. He's not talking about anything now. He's talking about illegal immigrants. Have you noticed he wants to talk about everything except, his culture? And now he's talking about people that came here illegally. So I guess he's drawing the connection to say, then because you are from Africa, so then you are here illegally. When he's sitting there with, tethers. Okay.
I don't know if the lash glue is getting to you or if it's the wig glue, but it's a crime. You do it once, they give you a slap on the wrist. You do it again, you're going to jail. And by the way, every other country has borders. By the way, every other country has delineation. If you were to go to France and start speaking German, some people would understand you, but most people would look at you like, the fuck?
That shit was on point. I don't know what. Yeah, you did acting at any point of your.
So guys, this is what you deal with. Imagine, you came to America, you see, you meet this guy, he's the representative of the blacks, and you are trying to understand their culture, but he's the one you met, you're dealing with. Can you imagine? And then you meet the next one, act like him. Would you take those people serious? Would you call this a culture? So there it is. Like, I want you guys to see this.
I acted as a kid.
They're afraid to tell him the truth. You see, they have to fake laugh it. They're sitting there going like, shit. Man, we know, man, you dumb as hell, but we scared to say it because you're gonna expose our tether card. You know, even though everyone knows, but we just don't want you saying it. Look at, they are forcing the laugh. They have to. So here we go.
Like, I mean,
Impressions is on point. Impressions is on point. I ain't gonna
best in
lie.
the world.
Guys, the link is in the chat. Hit the link if you wanna contribute to the show. So let hit the link.
I'll take that challenge. Who wants it? But no, like that's the thing. You have to have an understanding and a sensitivity that the way we show up when we go to the grill, the way we show up when we go to Kingston.
No disrespect.
No disrespect whatsoever, because we understand that that's your house.
For sure.
We do not come in your house and do what, when I say this, non-foundational Black Americans do. Y'all come in the house like y'all Rick James and this Eddie Murphy's couch, and y'all like, yo, couch, nigga, what did the 5 fingers say to the foundational face? Slap. That's what you're doing. You're slapping our faces and acting like we don't have culture, but you're over here soaking up our culture, acting like you're one of us. You know, you're not Black, but it's time. If it was, hey, we can benefit Black people, your asses would be talking about Black. It wouldn't be no delineation then.
They want the reparations.
Reparations.
Yeah.
Y'all be signing up for reparations, but you didn't go after reparations from the Queen when she was alive. You didn't go after reparations from the King when he was alive. And by the way, Haitians, you're still paying reparations to the Europeans for winning. Okay.
I do want to ask you one more quick thing, because we have this.
They are laughing at him. Yeah. I know it's painful to sit and hear supposed to be a grown man talking. But yeah, this is like, even this is what Tariq feeds them. This is what your average Black FBA person, grown up, this guy is a grown man, you can see. Yeah, that's the level of his thought process.
This platform, and we post things and we react to stuff like this, and a lot of people give us pushback saying that we're adding fuel to the fire by replying. Do you think we should be silent, or do you think that we should use our voices to actively speak out?
You know what's funny? I don't know when you're going to air our content with me on it. But if you do, you're going to notice something that you're really not going to see much of from other people. I'm in them comments. I'm going to reply. Dave@businessbullyshow.com. It's my email address. You 929-352-7263. Call the crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. I ain't ducking no smoke. I'm gonna say exactly.
All right, let me bring in the conversation. Sorry for making you guys lose some brain cells, but it's all part of the deal of watching this. All right, I have Bang in the house and I have St. James. Bang and St. James, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Bang, are you there?
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm well. So, Bang, you know, this is Culture News, and I've brought the narrative, and you're seeing it, the show. You have, two open, they said the host is a tether too. They set up the show.
But,
they're supposed to be talking about Black American culture. You know, this guy's meandering, doing all the talking points, talking about, we didn't come get them, started talking about the usual babble. You know. So, what is your take on seeing that
Let me say this
you've
word.
got these are all tethers, right? But the guy is saying they want to call out the Haitian lady for doing tether babble. Why isn't he calling out those two, Jamaican or the host, those tethers? Why isn't he calling them out?
Man, let me say this real quick, right? Those two guys, I never knew they were Jamaicans.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew it was Jamaicans the whole time.
Oh, you know them? Their show?
No. I never knew they were Jamaicans. I
Oh,
thought they were Black Americans the whole time, because I've seen them on YouTube a couple times, but then I've never paid them attention because of, to me, they like low, like no, like low level thinking people
right.
for like years, and then they always used to have like Africans, like females coming there. They try to
Yeah,
like
I've done
bait
a show
females.
on them with
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, what men do that constantly? But then you want to talk about Africans, and it always bring females.
right.
Yeah, it was one. He was like, I was gonna slap her because she said she doesn't date Black Americans.
He
Man.
was going to slap the woman
Yeah,
for that. Yeah,
Last year, I remember like I think early last year or something like that.
yeah.
I'm like, man,
I think I've done a show on them with some woman. But are you surprised to see they said they want to analyze Zanu's video supposed to be about their culture? Are you shocked that they can't even
name
describe
one.
it? Yeah,
Nah. They kept on like running around the corners and stuff like that. Like, nah. Like the other guy, he's like what, in his 50s?
he has to be.
Yes, and then he's speaking like this, man.
Yeah,
Wow. Speaking like this, man. And man, these people, man. Huh. They lost souls, man. Afro-Demons, man. They lost souls, man. They are lost souls, man. They are absolutely lost souls, man. It's just like there's nothing you can learn from watching them. You actually become stupid. You
right. I
actually
mean,
become
because
stupid when you
people want
listen
to
to
know
them.
their culture so they know how to interact with them. But why do you think they get upset? They get mad. They started talking about things that are irrelevant.
Because they made that into their culture. Like whatever people say, what they observe and see and stuff like that. Just like you said, if I ask you what is your culture, you don't tell me. If I observe you and everything, I'm
Yeah,
assuming this is your culture.
right,
So when you say these things, they get mad. They get mad. At the same time, they don't want to like disown these things by actually fixing their own communities. So they go around and just be insecure and they just call people all type of names. Just like you said, like the white people came to America to better themselves.
right.
They built this country. So what's the difference between you and me?
There's
Is
no
that's the same
difference.
thing.
I just happen to live in this century. That's all.
Thank you. If it was 200 years ago, what's the difference? Then it was our
Right,
people that what I'm saying, they got cut up in chain.
right.
No difference. Man, oh my God, watching these people. This is worse because on TikTok, it's the same talking points on TikTok. When you
Yeah,
listen to these
because if you
people,
look at
they
like
have the same.
grown-ups like this, they are online, they're talking this talk. Imagine, their kids, their nephews, their young ones. This is where they're getting their education from.
Yes, so comfortable. And then speaking about like, I'm like, oh my God, man.
And they like to talk about they're criminals, like they want to delineate from Africans and everybody except they're criminals. I find that fascinating.
That's exactly. And then they want to bring up like what you call it, country music, right? Country music. They told Beyonce go to hell. They literally told Beyonce go to hell. They did not give her no award. They did not even give her no award. Then how you gonna bring an example like country music?
Hey, I mean, if Beyonce, composes good country music, hey, good for her.
But I'm just saying though, but like even at the awards, which is controlled by the whatever the people that whatever it is. But then they told Beyonce, you're not gonna get no award because we can do that.
Right.
We can make sure you cannot get no awards.
So she was trying to get a DEI, country award.
Exactly. Oh my God, man. Listen. Man, when I listen to this, man, I actually felt more stupid. But go ahead, St. James, man. This is
Let's bring in
ridiculous.
St. James.
It's
St. James,
ridiculous.
welcome to the Afrodamus Report.
Thanks for having me to the show, man. What's up, Banks?
How you doing, man? I missed that show, man, a couple days ago, man. I apologize, man.
Oh, really?
I was mad. I missed that
Yeah,
show.
and you missed the earlier show, the South African one too.
You know, after that was, man, I'm on TikTok now a lot. That's where you catch me a lot now.
Yeah. All right. So St. James, you know, you've seen the conversation. They ask what their culture is, but they kept meandering like the Nile River. Apparently, two of the people openly they said they're Jamaican. I mean, Kenny Alpha said the host is from Trinidad. So it looks like it's according to FBA law, these are tethers. But they have a problem with Zanu sitting, having the conversation with this Haitian American woman. They say she's a tether.
Right.
But they didn't answer what their culture is. And we've
No,
encountered this time and time again. What is your take,
no,
from what you heard on the conversation?
my take is very simple. I'm noticing a lot of tether from, coming from the Caribbeans are now represented for Black Americans on YouTube, right?
Right.
And they're the one who seems to be bringing the conversation to us Africans, and in a malicious way, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm also noticing that the one responding from the FBA side are the one that just came fresh from jail. So it's a lot of so, so we are now learning a lot from both sides.
Yeah.
So when you remember when you listen to it, like the culture is geared towards them helping others and fighting for everybody. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, so what should be the takeaway? Like the way you explain it, right? The people that also build this country, fled from point A to point B.
Right.
They don't seem to be whining about it. They found the good place and they made it, better for everybody to come here.
Well, as far
You
as
know.
they are concerned, I
Right.
mean, only the Africans fled over here. The Russians didn't flee, the
Right.
Chinese,
Right.
Indian, everybody. And also, even though we go through the same immigration rules as everybody,
Mhm.
they didn't help bring anybody else but us. And what is this based off of?
Yeah, it's based on stupidity, not being able to read. After that, I went through some doc, right? The Civil Right Act and the Immigration Act was crafted in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
The Nigerian president Ezekwe and all these people, they came here in the 30s.
Namdi Ezekwe.
In the
Yeah, I
30s.
mean, yeah, even Kwame Nkrumah went to school here.
Alassane Ouattara from Ivory
Yeah.
Coast, they all came here before, all this civil right was, enacted into laws. So so when did you bring us here? All these people, they came to school. They didn't even come, like they came here to school, to go to school. So that means African government already had something set up for Africans to come here. So the idea that they brought us here is still into
Well,
questions. Like I don't get it. But
well,
but
well, if you notice, they don't want to have like conversations based in truth.
no, it's not.
Because if you're being asked, what is your culture,
Mhm.
your ways, your customs, your norms? People want to know this so they know how to interact with you.
Right, right. But
But if you are asked this, why are you upset?
right? No, they're upset because what this. I don't know if they sold themselves the idea that everybody is following them. So
That they say we could follow.
so when they see other Africans, right? Not not trying to diss nobody else's culture, but when they see African, let's say Africans in America, right? Africans, Africans, we eat our own food, right? We're
Right.
not in here. I can go to a Jamaican place, I can go to a Mexican, I can go but 95% of my meal is African.
Right.
And most Africans, that's what they do. If you say your food is the best, I'm not dissing anybody's food, but I'm saying if your food is the best, you should be eating your food 95% out of the time. If that's not the case, you can't bring up your food because that's not what you eat every day, you know. So you are patronizing somebody else's food, which is good too, but you can't put that on a competition list, you know,
No,
to talk. You
I
can't.
mean, the fact is, it's like
Yeah.
I think um turning it into argument is just it's crazy. I think that's a
Yeah.
way of deflecting,
I
not
just
wanting to hear, the
culture,
truth.
culture, right? After in Africa, on the continent of Africa, we don't even compare cultures, do
No,
we? We
no.
don't. So it's a new concept for Africans when we travel here to the state. People are comparing culture. Oh, our culture is this, our culture is that. On the continent of Africa, we live in one country. You can have over 60, over 100 cultures, right, from different tribes, and no one speak high of their culture. You know that others. We all do the same. Like we don't try to compete with one another. You know, regarding our culture, it's like it is what it is. But here in the West, yeah, people are so proud about proving to others that they are the best. So we have to we have to roll with
But
the flow, you know.
the best at what?
Well, that's why you put the videos and there is no explanation, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't really decipher exactly what they mean by that. You know, once you listen to it, you know they don't make any point. You know, but everybody, because they say our culture is the best in the world because we have the best music. We have the. I'm like, people listening to music doesn't mean anything. You know, it doesn't.
Yeah,
So
and it's like they ask the one guy the question. He told us about what he saw in Jamaica, and his parents are Jamaicans. His father's Jamaican. He goes there, so he's a tether according to
Of
the rule.
course.
Both of them.
now you see most of the tethers are after them. To be honest, right?
Alpha
Some
Kenny said, no, 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 bro. The FBS hate us Caribbean just as much as they hate
no,
African.
but Africans, right? When we
No,
get on YouTube, when we're in YouTube, the nowadays African on YouTube is on point. We don't we know how to speak about certain things clearly so you can understand. So you guys are the one trying to pander, you know, to black American for some reason. I'm noticing that. And that's not a problem. So Africans, we don't pander. We know our culture. We respect everybody else's culture. So it's not about who's the best or who's not on the list. You know, you guys are the one bringing the conversation because you want to tether to Black American, and most Black American, as I'm noticing lately, they want to tether to Africans, but they don't know how. You know, so but we're gonna give them a hug. That's what they want. We're going to go ahead and do that.
Well, yeah, because these conversations they turn into like a therapy session where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know they these guys they start crying about like they will be like, oh yeah, African scholars, Qatar. I mean, which Africans? Or they start talking about booty scratcher. Um, they talk about Akon. So like, dude, like, can we like explain to an African person who's new here, who knows nothing about you, your culture? Can you explain to them so
Right.
they know how to interact with you? How
Yeah.
would you explain it? You see?
I think the more they explain it to you, the more you're gonna get confused. So I think you shouldn't be even asking for any explanation. Just step back and just watch. I think that's the best way you will learn. If you ask, you're gonna get 10,000 answers, and you get more confused. To me, I
And
rather
you notice he brought they
Then,
went straight to what is it called? What is it called? What is it called again? Oh, sorry, someone is talking.
oh my bad.
So
No, no.
he went straight to a movie Wakanda, the Wakanda movie, you know, talking about Killmonger. I was like, bingo, this is where the reference is. When they tell you about Akata, they said they saw it in a movie as well.
Yeah.
So
All that happened in the
yeah,
movie.
so it's like, okay,
Akata is not even real, right?
I
But
mean, I heard it on the internet from them.
right, right.
So
But
even the country where they said it's from, they wouldn't let those people even tell them what the meaning is.
no. But because
So it's like, you know, they just want to hold on to, you know, being pissed off, and you know,
mm,
like they said, oh, the Africans never came and got us. Sorry, like it's 2025. You
no,
know,
that's
like who would have gotten you? Like it was a slave trade. We know nothing about it.
well, I mean, Alphadamus, man, he brought Killmonger, man. What you gonna say about that, bro? I mean, Killmonger was brought up to the conversation. I mean, so what is left for an African to say, man?
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. It's a script
Yeah, it's a.
that's written.
That's what you see when we talk real. It's gonna get fictional, you
Yeah,
know. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm hearing that somebody who was called a kata 50 years ago or 40 years ago won't be talking about it, right? It's like an African that comes to you and tells you that he was called a booty scratcher in middle school, high school, or whatever.
right.
So now he's in his 30s or 40s. He won't be referring to that, you know. If it's a real man, he won't even be referring to that. He won't even be talking about it. He can refer to it just as a joke, like, yo, I was called a booty scratcher, but he's not going to make it into a problem, a
Yeah,
real
but
day to day problem. But this guy talking about akata, a term that was used maybe decades ago. And
he
this is
also,
brought up,
you
like,
notice, he said roasting is part of their culture.
and that's fine. You got to take the akata as a roast then. So it's as simple as that. I mean, why you if you acknowledge that you call somebody a booty scratcher and you said you called yourself a booty scratcher, which is okay. But if that person referred to their own people as a kata and referred to you as an akata, it's supposed to be a roast. So why are you making it a problem?
Yeah, I mean, like if you notice, even
Right.
as African person, if you, because I've seen it, if you like interact with many, like,
Mm.
you know, blacks, they would, you know, sort of try to
Yeah.
do, you know, try to make funny jokes about Africa, like their idea of what an African is, you know,
After
like
that,
something they saw in a movie. And, you know, unless you, for example, like me, right? I mean,
mm,
I joke around, but if you see me like in person, you know, your instinct is not gonna be to come and call me name or joke that, you know, you would have to respect me whether you like it or not. So I haven't experienced, you know, that, but
mhm.
they use that as a filibuster
Right.
No, because of
to so that you know, instead of having a genuine conversation, it turns into back to their childhood
Mm.
because
idea
no,
of what an African person is. But if you genuinely ask them to have a real conversation, you know, they most can't have it because that means their ignorance would show.
hundred
And they
percent.
are too prideful for that.
Yep, 100%. I mean, with this whole like roasting culture thing that they always claim, roasting came because of the slave master used to
Right,
make fun of them,
right.
and then as a return, the slave master used to tell them to make fun of each other. So that's how this roasting thing came from. So technically, it's not a culture thing because you
No.
cannot use it as a
Yeah,
culture.
but if that's their culture, they can do it
No,
with each other. But you don't just see someone just
and
because
start
they have
roast. No,
a
but
skin color. And it's like if you're, you know, like you gotta know the boundaries who you have that type of relationship with. Like you're not gonna see somebody if you're from, let's say, Kenya, or you know, you're not gonna meet somebody from Nigeria, like you don't know them, you don't know the mannerism, what their culture is, and assume the culture you practice in Kenya, because you all black and African, you all have the same humor. That
No, no,
makes
no,
no sense.
no, no, at all, at all, at all, at
Yeah,
all. It
because
doesn't
when
at all.
they, a lot of these people seem to be stuck in like childhood, like they have low self-esteem. For example, if they come and present what they call it their culture, like they say roasting, and they meet somebody who is not privy to that, they're not part of that, but you assume they, because they are your skin color, so therefore they have to act like you. When you don't entertain it, they're like, oh yeah, you all hate us. And why is the go-to always, oh, you guys hate us? What is that all about?
Yeah, because of they are insecure.
Right.
They're truly insecure. When you study it, they're truly insecure. So that's why they project as if they tough.
Right.
Yeah, and then as a return, they could be very violent. Because
Mhm.
violent people without control are insecure people.
Right.
That's what they are. I mean, and
What
then
I,
the FBAs are something else, man.
after what I noticed throughout the years, or Alfredamus, I've noticed that Africans know how to roast very well,
Of course.
and people get really emotional. That's why we are having this kind of conversation. I can't believe someone who was calling a kata 20 years ago is still getting emotional towards the same word. I mean,
Most of these people have never even been called that. I mean,
absolutely.
like they just heard it on the internet. Let's just be real.
Have you ever been on a live when Africans are discussing booty scratching?
Huh?
Have you ever been on a live when Africans are discussing booty scratching and being called booty scratcher?
Like, have I ever seen them
Yes.
discussing that?
Yeah, no, like
No,
making it, yeah, they get
no.
referred to it like, but they don't like,
Well, it's always, if you notice, the
yeah,
conversation again, it's not a healthy
no, it's not.
conversation
Yeah,
because it's not based in reality. Um, because if you truly want to have real conversation with somebody, you're not gonna uh,
Roast.
insist on forcing you know forcing entire continent of Africa on someone. You would want to know the geographical location they came from, what language do they speak, what are they about. But if
absolutely.
somebody is just blanketing
Mhm,
blanketing you, first, they probably don't have the brain power to
mhm,
to
mhm.
decipher the difference. To them, this is what I'm told, so that's
Yeah,
what it is. There's no need. I mean, look at the way these guys sound. Do you think they have the interest in trying to understand? I think the
no,
two the tethers on the show, they know the truth. They are laughing at that guy.
absolutely.
Yeah, they are laughing at
You
him.
see how he's dressed, man?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but they've been on that show for a minute now. After they've been on that show for
Yeah,
a minute.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they've been on that show for at least 3 years.
Maybe they gave him something to drink before the show,
Now, I mean, if I'm African, my father is African, and then my mother is American. You're not gonna diss my father's side. I'm African. I'll
Right.
follow my father's side. I'm not gonna sit in a show for 3 years now talking down about my people. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that at all.
Yeah,
At all.
yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
They've been on that show for a minute, man.
Yeah,
You know
after
how
that,
like
go ahead.
when you live in a neighborhood, right? You have certain people that think they smart, but they constantly like talking. Those guys, like neighborhood, low level thinking people. That's how I see them. That's how I
Yeah.
see them. Like people that used to just sit on the corner and talk all day and stuff like that, especially on the weekends, ain't got nothing going on really, live with their grandmother and stuff like that. That's how I see them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like Bank said, when you don't get along, you are the jealous one, you are the envious one, you are. Yes. So I mean, I really don't know exactly how to approach this situation. Like when they
Yeah, but
outdress Africans, like they used to hate. Like this, people still hate when they tell you like, oh, we are pinning us with the same brush. We not. we are 45 million black people here in America. But on the flip side of it, Africans are lumped together
Right.
in conversations, and then I'm like, you just you know you just mentioned that you guys are not the same, right?
Right.
Different opinion, different subgroups, and but you lump Africans together, you know, just
Well,
to
the other guy said we Africans should just follow them. They follow their cue. But the
that's
African is asking you what your culture is. You can't even explain.
but
You
but
can explain your culture, but you want them to follow you.
but after that was I respect that part, right? So when he said that, right? So he's gonna have a specific group of people that would love to follow them, right? You as an African, right? You have your following, so you're not worrying about that, right? So my hope is for them not to worry about what you got going and your following. That's what it is. So
Well, well, they
eh,
pretend to want to have conversation because they
mm,
always have Africans in their mouth.
right.
So why not have the real conversation? But then
Like,
also
like,
Africans who get mad, I
uh-huh.
want them to see the talking points here.
Yeah,
Like you watch it
yeah,
objectively,
absolutely.
so that like next time you encounter it,
Hmm.
you understand what you are dealing with.
Right. I
The
never.
mentality where it's coming from.
Right.
You don't feed into that energy.
Right.
Yeah.
All of us on this live, we are in America, right? For the most part, you see Africans in America looking to follow somebody else's lead.
I would. I mean, if I see any African doing that,
Yeah.
to me, it would. I mean, I would think you're confused.
A country where you are taught to be your own leader, right? A
Right.
country where you are taught to be your own leader, your own captain of your own boat, and somebody is trying to make you a follower, force you to be a follower. Like I'm like, okay, why should I follow you? What do I gain out of it? So you should show me the benefit of me following you.
Yeah.
If
Well,
there is
they
no
claim
benefit,
that they said we
They give you
benefit from
reasons.
their blood.
what happened?
St. James,
Said we
they give you
benefit from
reasons.
their blood.
Benefit?
They give you reasons, man. You look
No,
at
I
the
mean,
video.
as a grown man, another man is telling you gotta follow them, and they're not laying out the benefit. Where is it?
They give it to
And
you. It was there.
bro, and nobody's following Blind Man in
It was there,
2025.
man.
Paul said, why would an owner follow a butler? So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you sitting on this live talking about you, the leader, and then you have nothing to show for it. Why should I follow you?
and Princip just wrote something,
Yeah.
and I find it funny too. He said
What
FBA
FBA
do
do more
more
research?
research on Africa, always talking about Africans more than Pan African AA. Don't you
What this
believe that?
I think it was I think I called one of his he was on the show. I believe they were talking about economy, the and he was asking a question why he said Pan Africanism, you know, is only one sided, right? And he was alluding to the fact that Africans should come to America and invest in Black America, right? And
Yeah, but what are you going to invest in? They gotta, like what, like
yeah,
what
the guy,
basketball,
right,
twerking, like what's there to invest in?
right,
Soul
yeah.
food, where's the businesses?
And you are a businessman, Afadamas. In order for you to conduct business with someone else, there ought to be a market for it.
Yes,
So Africans don't see the need to come in here to do that here. They want to come and transact and buy their stuff and go back.
right.
Africans on the continent of Africa, they don't look at America like, yeah, we're gonna come invest here because they don't the
No,
capital might be lacking.
but if you are investing,
Yes,
you are either investing in a product,
right.
service,
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah.
So if he's saying invest in Black America, like what the skin color? Like, what's there
Yeah,
to impress people?
that's what they're talking.
Again,
That's what he was referring to. And I'm like, Africa,
yeah,
the 54 country. If you go in there, people will tell you exactly how you can invest because you know these are countries. So you're talking about a group of people within the country. So they're the one who have to create the bridge the gap, like and put in their own capital. It's not Africans that need to come from Africa all the way and create that for them. They have to create that for themselves, like
yeah.
the same way Africans have done it on the continent. The
Look at
bridging the gaps.
what Rick
Yeah,
Wisdom wrote. He said
yeah,
FBAs are basically dark-skinned white Americans. I have a solution for y'all.
yeah.
Just call yourselves Americans.
Right,
No black or white. Problem solved. Right.
right, right.
No, like same games. I mean, I get what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
But for me, I think sometimes even Africans
yeah.
trying to explain all that is a waste of
Yeah,
time
I know.
because you don't even owe that
Hmm.
explanation to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
some American. Do white people come and say that to you?
No, not at
Like,
all.
you live in America, you're a free person, you don't owe anyone anything, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they don't owe you. Like,
No. I
but
was just
if they're
addressing the
saying
fact that they're talking about things are one sided. I'm saying it's not one sided.
no, but what I'm
It's
saying is
mhm.
it's just like the culture question. If I've heard so that you're not gonna come you know uh invest in black community. Which community is this? And what are you going to be investing in?
Right.
This is
Yeah.
what like what is it that
Right.
you are going to be investing in?
Right. If you
So,
talk about it,
the person probably can't even tell you. He can't tell
yeah.
you where this neighborhood is. I think they just hear things and they
Hmm.
repeat it.
Yeah.
And when you ask question that's gonna shatter,
Hmm.
you know, their dream, they start getting upset.
Yeah,
You
that's what
know,
it is.
because like that guy the things he's saying,
Mhm.
he's not even
Doesn't believe it.
thinking. He doesn't. He's not thinking
Yeah.
for himself. He's repeating
It's a group
things he's
talk.
heard.
It's a
Yeah,
group
he's
talk.
just
Yeah.
repeating
Yeah. It's
things
a group.
he's heard from
Yeah.
Tariq Nasheed and
Yeah.
all. So like that goes around,
Mhm.
Um,
Usually, what I
well,
heard from if I do decide to listen to a specific YouTube channel,
yeah,
if I go somewhere else, I see the same talking point, like 50, 100 of them. They talk about the same thing,
right,
and then it get boring because it's like, okay, it's like they call one another at night, like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna talk about, and then they lays out the same thing, and it's like it's so boring from women to men. YouTube is getting very boring. Nobody's trying to innovate in anything. It's
right.
like, yeah, diaspora war. There is no diaspora war,
No,
man.
there is no. This is see. This is why I'm bringing this to. I
Right.
know because I think now I'm beginning to see it's more like they are pushing it in the YouTube.
Yeah.
Any little pushback. It's like you remember racism was the thing they talked about.
Yeah.
They can come up with their own thing. So now
Yeah.
African
Where the
pretending
issue.
to be mad at Africans is the new
Right.
thing.
Right. There was this guy when same parallel to the same show that you're doing. That Africans are mad that the black Trump cannot deport black Americans. Since when black America thinking about your status here
Wait,
in
wait,
America? It's
wait,
like what?
wait, 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 wait. They said
that
African.
the Africans are mad that they can't be deported. They just find that out. That
Wait, Africans are mad that black Americans can't
yeah,
be deported, but
yeah.
they were deported to go where?
That's what I'm saying. You see the stupidity of certain people in America, right? Like what
Right.
Bang said. The more you listen to the people, you wake up dumb. Yeah, you gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up confused, man. That's what I'm like. I don't listen to these people anymore. I'm like Africa, like bro. Africans are thinking about you being deported, like crazy. You crazy, man.
Yeah,
Like they do 2 hours show. They do two
deport,
hours show with 50 people on the panel discussing that. I'm
deported
like,
to go where?
to go,
Why would African care for blacks to get
Right.
dependent to
And they
go
turn
where?
around and they turn around and they say Africans are Africa got them in their mind. I'm like, are you serious? Have you been watching YouTube? You know, for the you see how dumb some people here in America sound? In Africa, you won't an African wouldn't do a show called where it discusses black American being deported somewhere in the world. They won't be
Yeah,
doing that.
deported to go where?
Yeah, they say they're native, they're
Yeah,
here. They're
yeah,
native.
there has to be a location.
There have to be a location. I mean, but
Yeah,
but these are the kind of shows that you see on YouTube, and it is very boring. Like diaspora war. Like you see a 40 years old guy talking about diaspora war. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, but what is the war about?
no,
Like
it's
that
in
guy.
his head. The war is in his head. You know, and I'm like, even though Africans here in America, the least he would like to do is even argue with someone. That's a waste of energy. You know, they don't even argue. They don't even want to be in those kind of predicament to even get to before we even get to a war. What's that? War argument? Like I'm like, are you serious? Okay, you get on TikTok, you see a few Africans saying some certain things here and there just for fun. That's it. But war? Seriously?
Most Africans are busy. They are at war with their hours.
Absolutely. I mean, I see Africans like the newcomers, man. They get 32 hours a week, man. They want to fight everybody. These guys want to work 40 hours. They want to up their hours. That's their battles. That's the battles they're going through right now. You know, and you ain't got time for diaspora war. You see a guy over 40, 50 years old talk about diaspora war, man. You something must be going through your head, man. Something's wrong. You got to fix yourself. Ain't no Africans here doing that, bro.
Oh, and did you guys hear about the Black Justice Katanji Brown?
What's up with her? She's in the news again?
No, she refer to blacks as disabled people.
Disabled people?
Yeah, watch this. Yeah, in the hearing, you didn't hear this?
No.
They're doing the voters here. Let me show you.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, if this was from a white person, they would have spread it and said it's the KKK. Katanji Brown, this is the Black Justice. Let's hear this.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson seemed to refer to Black Americans as disabled during a hearing. Lifetime appointment, folks. Lifetime.
Congress passed the Americans with
So this is her own voice.
Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities. And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings. I guess I don't understand why that's not what's happening here. The idea is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system, right? They're disabled. In fact, we use the word disabled.
And
so you hear this. So they want the voting act so bad. She, you heard her. She said black, are literally disabled people. Like, meaning the blacks are slow mentally.
Wow.
This is coming from a black woman.
I'm being honest with you, man. I'm not even sure if I acknowledge the black women in America anymore, man. I mean,
Why?
I'm being serious. Bro, for my own sanity, I don't think we live in the same world.
African man said he didn't refer to them. Sir, you didn't hear her speak? Why are you talking about disabled and blacks in the same sentence?
I don't know which kind of black folks she's referring to, but I'm not disabled.
No, not Africans for sure.
Yeah, right. Okay, she's referring to the people that look like her or something.
Yeah, like the voting Acts right, the voting right. So they want to look at it again,
Okay.
because in the past, maybe in the past they had the KKK trying to, they had lots of obstacles for blacks voting. So back then it makes sense to, make changes around it.
Right.
So the question is it still needed? So that's what the hearing was about. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I missed that. I've seen that happen.
African man said, that was in the full video. So I never said it was. We don't have time to watch the whole video. So I
Right.
gave you a little bit. People that are interested in it can go, search the full video and watch it. But we all heard what we heard. Guys, let's do our closing statement. We are here in, 2 hours. So this is my second show today.
Before you end it, right? So what's
Right.
going on in Cameroon?
Oh, we would touch on Cameroon. Looks like Paul Biya, they saying, lost the election, but we will talk on Paul Biya next.
Paul, you see,
Oh,
Paul B. I
so
am talking.
Isai Chirome is gonna take over.
Nothing is
Well,
secure yet, man. You see, over there in Cameroon, you gotta wait. I believe the result come 2 weeks after the election.
right.
So
So they are
anything
waiting.
prior to that, it's
Nah,
just talk. It's just talk.
that's
Yeah.
just BS, man. They doing something behind closed door.
Well, I've got some evidence on Cameroon. So,
Yeah, we got Cameroon, we got
Madagascar,
Madagascar, we got Ivory
Man,
Coast.
we
Don't
got
forget the
man,
Congo.
election
92 year old man
next week
wants to
is
be a
Ivory
president.
Coast.
92-year-old man still wants to be a president. What a shame.
Maybe he doesn't want to. The people benefiting from him.
I understand. I know.
Yeah.
92-year-old man.
He must be super tired. Yeah.
I heard it didn't even campaign. I
Man,
heard it didn't even campaign. They
man,
brought
they need
this.
to give it. Man, they need to give it to that Fulani man.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn, man, we need to take over Cameroon again.
Yeah,
We
we'll
used to.
look. Yeah, we'll talk about Cameroon for sure. Ben, you what say anything for a closing statement on the topic?
Man, those guys are insecure, man, and then lack of knowledge, in my view. Those guys are like those guys on that panel. They used to talk about relationship, and then I remember when Kevin Sam was alive. So they started when Kevin Sam was alive. They started with like relationship, and then when Kevin Sam passed away, and then they drift to this immigrant stuff, tethers and stuff like that. And then when I watched them, and I knew these guys are like low IQ people. I just knew from day one. I never paid attention to them because I was like, these guys are super low IQ people because it's like you can see it like from a far distance.
But
But
this seems
I'm
to
just
be the
shocked.
norm, though.
No, that's America's. That's how America is, man. American education system is behind. We have to be
Yeah.
honest with ourselves, man. If a grown man talk like this and then believes it, how you like the average person, like 25 year or under 30 or even 18, I'm gonna speak. It's gonna be worse. Let's just say
Right.
education system in America, it's not as great as it's supposed to be. It's not as good as it's supposed to be. That's why if you have a child, make sure your child goes to a great school. If you could afford it, I say private school. Because at the end of the day, man, once your child come out, you can't blame that child, man. They're gonna be talking like those. I'm shocked at them. I'm shocked those two guys are Jamaican, man. Wow.
Why? Why are you shocked?
Because the whole time in the on that show, I was literally believing they like black folks, from America. Because the way they used to talk down on Africans, and then the way they used to try to bring
Well,
like
they got a gang up on Africans.
yeah, but
Just like they
FBA
gang
was,
up on white people.
yeah,
It's
but at
like
the same
is
time, Tariq was making fun of Caribbeans heavily.
yes.
And then if my father come from the island, and then somebody that used FBA and talking down on my people from the island, why would I use the term FBA?
Makes no sense. Okay, Kofi, you came in late, but Kofi, what do you want to add?
Let me go.
I
Thank you,
would
Ben.
I would add that this guy, you sound like a black American, and you can't stop saying men, men, ming after every
Who is Bang?
sentence.
Bang, are you hearing that?
Yeah, yeah,
Has
I
your
heard. I heard.
has
I
your
heard him. I
has
heard him.
your education, has your vernacular, where's your African accent at? When the last time you been home?
Oh, 50 years ago, my brother.
I'm a Black American, and I'm married to an African woman. I've gained citizenship in Africa. The way you talk, you sound like DMX. So before you talk about anyone's education, you need to check yourself. That's really all. That's really all I have
Okay,
to say.
okay. First of all,
I don't like when people just talk. That's crazy. We don't talk about people's education. That's one thing we don't do. But let's talk about your education level. And let's talk about how you talk.
are you done? Are you done? You done? All right, look, check this out, right? First of all, right, just because someone speak without vocabs like that doesn't mean like they cannot think. You understand me, right? When I watch them,
So
they
you
do a
contradicting
segment for like an
yourself.
hour or two, right? Hold on. If you do a segment for like an hour or two, right, and then I just spend about 30 or 40 minutes just sitting there watching it, I could break it down and say that these guys are not smart. These guys are not smart. You understand me, right? I don't have to use vocabulary for me to be smart. You understand me, right? I live in DC about 95% of my life. It's a black city. So of course, I'm gonna sound like black folks. Just like how if you live in Africa, in Ghana for like 95% of your life, you're gonna sound like Ghanaians. So don't come up here and try to take shot at me. What's wrong with you? Those guys are idiots. I knew it like 3 years ago. They low thinking people, man. That is absolutely fact. They low people thinking. They started from if you know relationship when Kevin Samuel was popular, and then that's how they started their YouTube channel. And I looked at it from the beginning when they used to do so-called relationship things. I'm like, nah, these guys are slow. Then they went to old tethers and things, FBAs and things.
Let me
Pure
tell you a
fake.
story. Okay, let me tell you a personal story. And this is when I was in Africa. So my mother, my mother's Black American and my dad is Caribbean. So my mother was looking for a place with my brother, and the woman that was gonna rent to her, she asked, "Oh, is she Caribbean or is she Black American?" And my brother, I don't know why he answered it. He said, "Oh, she's on Black American." And then the woman said, "Oh, I'm not gonna rent to Black Americans."
Where in
Now,
Ghana?
now, no, here in New York City.
Huh.
Now that right there, that's a lawsuit, and I don't know why my brother let that slide.
Wait, the woman asked if she was Black American or Caribbean,
Yes,
and
yes.
and the woman, where is she from?
The woman is, I believe, she was Jamaican.
So okay, wait. So the Jamaican woman wanted to know. She only was renting to uh, Caribbeans.
That's my guess, but that's how bad it is, and for us who are half Caribbean, half Black American, these are it's almost embarrassing to say, but this is how I I would say this is how Black Caribbeans are, right? Because they're seeing out the lens, right? Once you get to a certain status in this country, you're not looking at the out the lens of your Fox Newses and how white Americans view Black people and how we're being portrayed in the
But why
media.
do you think? Why do you think that women developed that attitude about not renting to Black
Well,
Americans?
well, it's the same thing when a Ghanaian says, "Oh, I know my people. You got to watch out for them. Watch out, watch out." So that notion of watch out for the local is being implemented in people's heads. So everywhere in the world, you have a local class that people sort of look down on,
Right.
and Black Americans are that local class. It is what it is. But I would say just like on the African continent, yes, we have tribalism here too, and that's a form of tribalism.
If you get on YouTube, right, you look up like people complaining about like renting this spot. from to people, right? You might find a Black American saying that I would never rent my property to Black folks. What's the difference?
Because you don't want anyone to ever put you or your other family members in that position. So if you have a son and they're looking for an apartment and someone discriminates against them and something that's like that is life or death. If you don't find shelter, you
No,
could be
but no,
out
but no,
there
but
in
no,
the
no, but
homeless
no,
in the
no,
street.
but what I'm trying to say is, what's the difference between the other Black folks that's American that come out publicly and said I would not rent my property to a Black American.
It's something it's just something that as Americans
Kofi,
we,
Kofi.
we don't expect that, like we
No, no,
expect that
no,
from
because of
white European
Afrodamus.
people. We don't
Let me.
expect
Afrodamus
that from other
probably
black people.
Can I ask you a question, Kofi?
Afrodamus said there's a reason why that lady might said that. Just like how if somebody else said it, oh, I do not rent
I've heard a
my
Jewish person
Airbnb.
say that, right? I was with this other black girl from Tennessee. We was in Los
When you rent
Angeles.
properties, man, you go through a lot of hell. Trust me, you go through a lot of hell.
Yeah, I used to be a real estate agent. I
You go
my
through a lot of hell.
my the people that I worked with, they were very racist and they're very into the gentrification. But when it starts getting on the level of someone that shares your same skin color doing it, it's ridiculous. My mother went to NYU. She graduated from NYU. She's a retired teacher. She don't deserve that. She went to NYU when she was 16. So instead of looking at her merit and the money that she has, they're just quick to say, "Oh no, Black Americans," because that's what they're being. That's a taught. That's a learned behavior from white Americans, pretty
Yeah,
much,
but Kofi,
from the white people.
the conversation was about like what is the Black American culture. So people learn about people's culture, customs, so they can get to know them, how to interact with them. Like when you go to Ghana, there are
Yeah.
different groups there, different tribes. The ones you're gonna be around, the most, like I'm sure you've taken the time to learn their culture and customs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the entire time you can see these people, they could not answer what Black American culture is. So I was asking why that woman, because most Caribbean, Jamaican, they live, with Black American.
Oh, from the Zanu show, Zanu.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Zanu
in
crazy
real
man. He's
life,
crazy.
yeah, in real life, uh, most Jamaican, Caribbean, they live with Black people in the same community.
Hmm.
So, and I've seen a video where this Jamaican resort owner in Jamaica made a video saying she will never rent to Black Americans again if they come to her resort.
Yeah.
She gave her reasons, right? So that's why I was asking, like that woman, how did she come to that conclusion that this, even asking the question, something must have triggered that.
Well, though
Is
whether
there
they
like
were
a certain
whether they're Black
behavior,
American, right?
certain behavioral pattern?
We don't know what background they have, right? They could be Caribbeans who just don't have an accent. They could be Africans who don't have an accent. They could be Black Americans. The census
But
is that
but
if you
okay,
speak a
Kofi.
if you speak a American vernacular and you're Black, you're just Black American.
No, but what I'm
And
saying
I
is,
witnessed many I witnessed many Caribbean people call other Caribbean Black Americans.
yeah,
So
but you said she asked. So the woman is taking her time. I mean, I get what you're saying, but if you
she
live
she just
here,
didn't hear no accent, pretty much. She didn't hear my
yeah,
brother had an accent. She didn't hear my mother have an accent. I'm guessing she didn't hear an accent
yeah, that's
in
why
in,
she
in my
asked.
brother.
So she asked, for example, like I know there's like a guy on YouTube here. He's Black American, straight Black American. He rents properties to people, but with him too, he says no, he doesn't want to rent to Black Americans, and he's Black American. He makes that known, and he gives his reasons. He's been on here before. I don't know if you've heard him,
Hmm.
but St. James, you remember when John came here, called into the show?
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, talking about the same thing. He said he's a property owner, he rents places to people.
The one that said
So
that they run credit on blacks.
yes, yeah, that guy. And
And that's crazy, right? We're in the first world country.
right,
How are
but
people taught to look at
no,
people,
but
other
what I'm saying,
citizens like that? That's ridiculous. Because in Africa, we're put on pedestals, and
yeah,
little
that's
do
what
they
I'm
know,
saying.
little
But
do they know, we're a paycheck away from having zero as well.
Now the
It, it's a perception.
it's
yeah,
coffee. I had a question when you said your brother was rejected because a question was asked. So where do you live?
Where do I live?
Yeah, where does your brother live? I'm sorry, your brother.
So this was in Brooklyn. This was in
Brooklyn.
like
So
Flatbush, Canarsie area.
in order for him to get the apartment, he has to apply, right?
Yeah,
So so he did get rejected. How did he get rejected?
the woman simply said, "I don't want to rent to Black Americans."
Then the application. So he got something in the mail.
It wasn't in the mail. This was verbal.
No, if you apply, then they have to respond to you through email.
This my brother was talking to her on the phone, and
Hmm.
I believe they went to look at the place.
Hmm.
Then I mean, she had to hear my brother's accent,
Hmm.
and then she had to hear my mother's accent.
Hmm.
I figured this woman has an accent, and she
Hmm.
said, "Look, I only want to rent to Caribbean people. I don't want to rent to Black Americans."
Then you have a case. Then that's it.
I wasn't there. If I was there, my brother, unfortunately, he's like, he doesn't think that way. But my brother would take insult, and he would excel past that. He's better than that.
yeah,
Me,
but coffee,
I'm not gonna do that because I know my rights.
like coffee for me, right? If that was me and I hear it, like if there's like this thing where people don't want to rent to African, right? I
Yes.
Okay, fine, it's a lawsuit whatsoever, but I would want to find out the reason because I want to solve the problem, you know. Like I would want to know what these African people doing that's making people don't want to rent to African.
I mean, everyone's committing a crime, right? No one questions what's the ethnic background of this person. No one really questions that. Now, obviously, if it's a person with a with
Maybe
a foreign name,
her experience, pattern recognition.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
she used to rent to, she's rented to others in
epidemics,
the past.
it's past her
that's a
experience, right?
social crime.
Because you just gotta look at the news and see that, okay, Black people are committing crime, but
No,
no
but
one questions no one
I'm
questions their
thinking,
ethnicity.
yeah, but this woman, don't you think, is far more than that? Like, you gotta have actual experience,
Yeah, Brooklyn is bad, man.
right?
But we can't say whether, okay, I mean, if a Caribbean person commits a crime, no one's gonna say that they're Caribbean. The news is gonna be like, oh, this person is Black.
No, I get that. But the woman, right?
Yeah.
If she has a place that she usually rents, for landlords to come to that conclusion, that would mean they go off of their experience with certain demographic.
It's no
Because, for
different
example,
from what
when
it's no
John
different
came
from
on
white
here, right?
America.
John came on here, and John is a Black American, FBA. He said it too. He explained. He went, gave experience patterns. You know, the demographic he has lots of issues with that cause problems for him, damage his place and stuff. That's what he went off of.
Uh-huh.
So, could it be possible this woman also have experienced something like that?
Sure,
When
sure. Let's say
she
she
came to that,
experienced it.
she came. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, like, because some, it's like, hey, pattern recognition is not wrong.
If she experienced it, right, she needs to do better at
Stereotypes.
vetting.
Yes, stereotypes can be true sometimes. Yeah, I totally
She need to
agree
check.
with
She
you.
need to check the credit
Others,
scores.
yeah,
She
others
need to
who
check where you work at.
Maybe, maybe,
I've done
maybe,
real
maybe,
estate. I've done
maybe,
real estate
maybe,
for the past
maybe,
4 years. I know how it is.
maybe she already checked the credit score. It was like back 50, you know.
But this time she's checking my brothers, right? And my brother's in a board of education, and my mother's formally a board of education. So the money isn't an issue. She
Right.
Because she didn't hear Caribbean accents, that's where the problem came. Not to say that she didn't want to rent to Black Americans. Maybe she preferred to reserve the spots for Caribbeans.
It's culture wise.
You know,
Culture wise, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, in my personal view.
It's something very wrong with that because this is the United
Nah,
States, right?
nah. To me,
If that
honestly,
was the
ain't nothing wrong
case,
with that.
no immigrants would be here. Just white Americans and Black Americans. If that was the case,
Nah. To me, there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I won't
it
lie
is
to you.
something wrong with that
Nah. I won't lie to you. Honestly,
because
see,
that's why
let
our
me tell you
birth
why.
rates
Let me tell you why.
are low because if you think in a scarcity mindset, we're
No,
just gonna
it's
be
not.
a gay. We're
It's
gonna
not
just be a gay
uh,
nation because of lack of transparency and a lack of diversity. That's crazy.
no. To me, I realized where she was coming from.
Asians have the lowest birth rates because of how they're thinking. So if that's the immigrant of the person coming abroad, to me that doesn't do well for the society.
She probably has history of her. She prefer Caribbeans in her spot.
Nah,
That's all it is. That's all it is.
we
Ain't nothing
okay.
wrong with that. Black folks do it too in this country too.
When
Black folks do
no,
it too in this
no, they
country too.
don't. No, they don't. No,
Yes,
they
yes
don't.
they do.
White people, no, they
Yes
don't.
they
White people.
do.
Before you
Black
can say a
folks in
black person
America,
does that, white people do
Black
that.
Americans
We
does
don't
it
do
too.
that. We don't do
Black
that.
Americans does it
We
too.
we had the civil rights movement for a reason, dude. What are you talking about?
The civil man. I ain't
Exactly.
trying to
You
go
don't know
back
what
and
you're
forth,
talking
man.
about. Come
I ain't
on.
trying to go back and forth, man.
You don't know. You don't know what you're talking about.
My
Black people
God,
do it
I'm not
too.
trying to go back and forth. You act like you
Are you
telling
the
me
type
that
of
you're a
black
black.
person that would do
Okay,
that? Wait. Are you the type of black person that would do that? Just say that you would do that.
Relax,
I
Kofi.
know
I
where
got
she's
a
coming
question for
from.
you.
I understand
That's
where
not
she's
our
coming
culture.
from.
That's not
No,
exactly. That's
I
not our
understand and
culture,
I know where she's coming
right?
from.
Kofi,
Right
Kofi,
Listen,
there. That's
Kofi,
not our
Kofi.
culture. Our culture is mostly
Hold
civil.
on,
It starts at the civil rights movement.
Kofi, Kofi.
hold on,
Got a
hold on,
That's
quick
our
hold on,
question.
hold
culture.
on,
Just
hold
a
on.
quick. Yeah, I got
One
a
second,
quick
one second,
question.
one second, one second.
You,
Say
you're
James, say
going.
James. Hold on, one second. When you go down in the DMV, right? I live in DC, right? Nation capital, right? Which is
Yeah,
controlled by black people, right? Black Americans, right? You go down there in the DMV, right? The people that help you,
fifty
right?
percent. 50% is black. Go ahead.
Oh my God. But you understand what I'm trying to say. The folks that helps you, right, when you go down there, right? It's all black Americans.
Yeah, I
It's
met
all
I
black
met some of
Americans.
them in Ghana.
They
Yeah,
go. So you telling me the mayor could not hire Africans or the people that's responsible of hiring these people? They couldn't get Africans. I don't go up there complain because you know why? That's just how it is. It's culture thing. It's culture thing. You understand me, right? When you in DC, you have like there's certain like digit numbers, right? The mayor is like number one. Then you have like number two, number three, number four, right? If you
uh-huh.
if you run into somebody and then they have like single digit, right? That person is connected to the mayor. 99% of the time, it's either black Americans. I don't go around and say, "Oh, where's my African tag at? I need me something like that," because I know the culture and the history the way it is. Certain
I
people
mean,
prefer
it's also
certain people in their
population
house.
too. It's also population, right? When I go to Ghana, I'm not looking to get into politics. That's not the first thing I'm looking to get into. So
No,
if you're a first generation, or if you're an immigrant, that's not the first thing you should be looking to
no.
get into.
Listen.
That's just common sense.
No, it's not common sense because
Now,
honestly,
if you
listen,
want to get
listen.
into it
We are
from,
we are human beings, right?
I mean, yeah,
We prefer certain things, favoritism by nature. We all do.
yeah.
Don't come up there act like that's not nature to us. To me,
We want the people that represent us.
Even though
We want to
she's
be
kind of wrong,
represented
but
by the people
understand
that
where she's
are
coming
us.
from. I'm not saying
We
I
want to
would
be
do it. I'm
exactly.
not saying I would do it, but understand where she's coming from.
We
You
want to
trying to
be
put it.
represented by people that wouldn't do that to other people. Now, I don't know in the history of any black politician or any
That is,
prominent black person
there's no way.
saying they're
There's
not
no
going
way
to
you're gonna.
rent to
There's no
other
way you're gonna
black
tell me.
immigrants. That's
There's
crazy.
no way. There's no way you're not gonna tell me that. Oh, there has never been a black American say, "Oh, I'm not gonna rent my spot until you got to be a black American, until I find somebody that's a black American." It has happened
Have
before.
you gone through that?
It had I, the
Have you gone
possibility.
through that?
No, because I don't need to. But don't come
I
up here
hear
and
people
telling me that.
discriminate. Wait, hold on. I hear people discriminate against Nigerians, right? And it's mostly
Africans
other
too.
Africans. I hear people discriminate against Nigerians all the time, and it's mostly other Africans. That's that. When you talk about culture, right? That's just
So
not
so
Black American
Kofi,
culture.
Kofi,
We don't do
Kofi,
that.
you said something about the culture starting in civil rights.
Civil rights, yeah.
So that means the black
That's
Americans
us
don't have
culturally.
a because black that means black Americans don't have a culture because civil rights was given to black Americans by white people. So
That's crazy.
like
That's
that can
when you say
that
given. I would use a different language. I would say fought.
no it was given like it was in fought like you did not defeat white people. They
This is also okay. This is also
they
cultural,
did
right?
it they did it
Look, look,
from
look,
the
look,
good
look.
grace
This
of
is
their
also this is also cultural. I'm a Black American, right? You
uh-huh.
can't tell me a Black American what my people did.
No, I'm
But
not no what
if
I'm
this is
saying.
your culture, look, if culturally you like to impose yourself on other cultures, that's you culturally.
No,
That's what
but
you
what I'm
do.
saying, hold on. What
It's
I'm
just
saying is,
it's
right?
common sense, man.
Hold on. With the
You
civil
can't you
right,
can't tell me what my
hold on,
people
hold on, hold
did.
on, hold on. Let me finish. We all, we weren't alive, but we read it. We've seen, documentaries. We've sat in class. I mean, I've studied it. And just like the Emancipation Proclamation, the white people gave it. Civil rights was given. This is why, like you look at the Voters Act, they are removing it. Anything that is given,
It wasn't. If you had to die for it, it wasn't given.
um, it was civil rights was given. Don't you see they are unraveling bunch of it? They are taking it away. Are you aware of what is happening currently?
Whatever. Like I
Like with
said,
the vote with the voting
anything you have
act.
to die for, that's not something that's given.
But like what I'm saying is, right? It was given by white people. You
Man,
did
what year
not
was this?
defeat them. Um,
1960.
so there has to have been a black culture before that, if there is any.
If it wasn't given, there was gonna be more bloodshed, pretty much. So
Afro-Demons, man, always taking shots, man.
No, I mean I'm just
No,
trying
no,
to.
no, no. I see where you come from, which I understand. I know,
Yeah.
I know.
So I mean, civil rights is
So,
definitely
Coffee,
given.
what
Just
year
like
was
even
this?
the LGBTQ people,
Oh yeah,
they said they
exactly.
fought for civil rights. We're seeing it, but it's they're trying to
I could take
force
shots
it and give
too.
it. No, I'm not taking
I
shots.
could
I'm
take
I'm
shots
just
too
no.
because
This
no,
is
No, 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 no,
look.
no. He wasn't
It's
taking
not.
shots. He
I'm
was
not
when
just
you
saying
say
taking.
something
facts.
was given and I
Yes,
said no, it wasn't given, we fought for it. I could say a certain circumstances.
but it has
It's
been taken. That's what I'm saying. Like
177.
what?
Hold on.
What year was this? The civil rights
Okay,
movement.
let's allow Saint James. Guys, we're good. Saint James, you were gonna say something.
Now I just want to talk to Kofi for a minute, for a second.
Oh,
Kofi, do you see the thumbnail?
oh, I think Kofi's. I think he's talking on the telephone or something.
No, he doesn't hear me.
No, he's
I see it. I see it. I
muted.
see it.
I think he's. Oh, there. Okay, there he is.
I see it.
So the two females are beautiful, right?
Very, yes.
And you went to Africa and found yours, right?
Yes.
So you ain't like that dumb guy that's sitting here talking about Africa should have gotten here and got us, right?
I mean, I in Zinga, right, from Congo, she went and she sent ships to get her people from Brazil, or they was gonna cut their heads off.
Mm.
And
Zinga didn't have ships. Zinga was a
the
slave trade.
Portuguese, but the Portuguese that docked in the
But
Coffee.
Congo
no,
had ships,
no.
and
The
she
point I
held
was
them. She held them
no,
by knife, by the
no,
knife,
no.
and
We don't have to.
She made them reverse those ships. Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
that's a
We
true
don't have.
story.
No, we don't have to get that now. I was just trying to, you know.
Look, I don't want to deviate, but Zinga was a slave trader herself. It's just like say Madame Tinubu sent a ship. It's a slave trader. Like what are
They
we
had they had
talking
they had the right they had the right to profit from the slave trade, just like
about?
the
Coffee,
Europeans.
coffee. You think the Portuguese with their guns and also their ships are going to sail into this vast ocean that the African Zinga and her people have no clue about? They'll be able to hold them hostage. Is this what you're telling us?
Yes, because they also had guns too, and the people that they had Portuguese governors held hostage, and they had to pretty much it was a capture. It was pretty much it was
But
them
okay,
for
coffee. I don't
it
want to
was
deviate.
them
So
for
I don't want to
for
get
their
out of the.
slaves, pretty much.
I want us to stay in this century, but I mean, only Lord knows what Zinga and her people did. But then, yeah.
I know,
Zinga.
man. I don't want
I
people
mean,
like to go too far in history,
But
man. That makes
but,
no
yeah,
but
sense.
yeah.
Kofi, did you ever, since you live in Ghana, did you ever ask the Ashanti why they never came?
Um, well, they were under siege. I mean,
That's what they
So,
told you.
so,
they didn't
so,
tell me that. That's what I
so,
learned.
coffee.
They had to fight the British,
So, coffee. Do
and
you
some of
believe
them
that
got
the
captured.
Africans are responsible? They should have come and got the same cargo they sold.
They didn't. Well, they didn't have to come get anyone because Black
Because
Americans
it was a
returned
trade.
themselves.
But
Black
coffee,
Americans came back themselves.
hold on, coffee. Why did the Africans on that coast needed to come for only black Americans when African slaves were put on all those islands, Brazil, all other places, Haiti, but black American is the only one saying mad that the Africans didn't come get them, even though they were sold. Like there's no receipt. The Africans gotta present receipt of sold goods. Like I know people don't want to admit this, but those slaves were sold.
Those
I,
slaves were sold, yes,
yes,
and
they were
and they
sold.
came back.
They
Some of them
was
came
other.
back.
Hold on. They were other people's property. How can someone come and taking someone's slave? That would have been kidnapping. You're kidnapping someone's property. It was legal to own slaves in America back then.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was legal. If you come and say you taking someone's slave, that's a crime.
It's a declaration of war.
Yes, and when you say African, which African would are people talking about? With what group? Because slavery, the transatlantic slave trade went on for like 400 years. You have different Africans, cultures change, the
Yeah.
coast people change. Whose people is who? You know, who do they belong to? Who knows who is who? So that's why I don't
Um,
like to get into all that.
it's very complicated, but I would, if anyone asks why you didn't come get us, I would simply say, well, Paul Coffey, whose father was Ashanti, his
No,
mother
we
was Native
cannot
American,
because it's not our
went took his own
responsibility.
ships. They took
It
their
was
own
a
ships and
slave
went back to
trade.
Africa.
It was a slave trade.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a slave trade. This was legal. I
The
think
whole
we
the
trying
whole
to
point
make
of sending them is not to take them back.
what?
Pretty much.
No, yeah, they were sold. Like the people that sold them are not their own people. This is what people forget. But people want to apply the one big nigga rule. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the case. Even these nation states are all new. They didn't exist back then. So nobody's coming to get anyone. Wherever whoever is at, guess what? That's your home now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a blame game at the end of the day, man. If you put it like that.
When you say like, okay, the white people, the white people gave us our civil rights, and I would say, okay, they had to write it into legislation, because these are the laws. You know,
They
if
made
they're
those
not abiding
laws.
by their own laws, then who are they as a nation? And
No,
that's
that's
why
what
they
I'm
had
saying.
to.
Yeah, you still gotta give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
the
taking
white
no credit
people. The
from
white
white people.
people.
No.
Yeah, it is other white people that were against, the mistreatment. They're against slavery, that fought other white people that are pro-slavery.
Yes,
And yeah, that's what happened.
and Africans who participated in the slave trade, they weren't alone. White people was on the other end of that. They had to supply ships, mainly Amsterdam supplied the slave ships, and
Yeah, it was a
that
trade.
transaction wasn't just solely black Africans.
Yeah, I mean that's like saying the diamonds they are taking out of Sierra Leone, Congo, and these places. White people are the ones that need it. They gotta come get it, but they're not strong arming people. They're buying it. So
Yeah.
it's like saying, "Oh, white, you should go get all that mineral from the white people. They bought it. You can't get it back.
Yeah.
You sold it." So back then, getting slaves into America was the most valuable thing because,
What you
they got.
call it too?
Huh?
You have King Peter from the day, and you have King Boswing. If not for them, the Liberian settlers would not have been able to land, because they would have been slaughtered. They would have got killed.
We don't know that.
We do know that it's documented.
You mean when the black colonizers showed up to Liberia?
I'm not gonna call them colonizers. I would call them
My
I
God.
would say returnees, blacks coming back
Returnees.
So,
from
Are you
so
from
crazy?
Liberia,
slaveries.
Liberia was their home. They returned to their home.
They returned to yes, they returned to a home.
Oh, okay.
They
A
right,
home.
right. They picked the softest spot, right? Because they wasn't gonna go to the Oyo. They wasn't gonna go through the Yoruba. They picked a very very soft spot. Imagine them landing on the coast, the
So,
Cape Coast. They would got slaughtered.
so the American colonization society didn't have anything to do with
They
this at
had
all.
they had a lot to do with it. If not for
White
them,
people, right?
they had to put a gun to someone's head.
Okay.
This is all
So,
documented.
okay. So they're not colonizers. They are returnees. They return to a place that is not their home, but they are called returnees.
But
After
the
them.
whites were responsible for the whites were responsible for taking them. They had a
So
responsibility
After them.
to
whites,
put them
Let me
back.
say this.
whites were not responsible for giving civil rights, but now all of a sudden they are responsible
I
for
would
this.
say thoughts. I just would pick another
Uh,
word like thoughts.
After
But
them, man, let me say
yes,
this real quick.
all sides are responsible, man.
oh, okay.
I'm not taking no sides. I just had to say it like it is.
Okay. So Kofi, you're not taking any side, right?
No.
Okay. So the black folks in America was fighting for civil rights in the '60s, right?
Yes.
The black folks started voting in
I mean,
1960,
way
right?
before that, but go ahead.
Oh but officially they started voting in 1960, right?
No, they started voting. The men started voting in like the
No.
1880s.
1960. That's when
Those
officially.
wasn't
No,
voting laws. Those was like
the men were voting. The men were able to vote.
in
What year?
the late 1800s. They were voting.
Yes.
Okay, late 1800, right? Okay, so when was the natives started voting in
Well,
Liberia?
the natives were not
Yeah,
citizens yet. They were their own sovereign territories.
Yeah, so they
they
started
had
voting
their
in
own
19.
territory. Yeah,
No. They didn't allow them to vote until 1960 until
1970s.
1950. No, until 1959.
Well, you got to remember they had to become
No,
citizens.
if no, it was in the same country. in the same
Yes.
country, they
Yeah,
didn't allow
but
the
they
natives to
had
vote.
their own territories
No, no, no,
like
no, no,
today.
no, 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 Afrodamus. It was the same country all in one. They didn't allow the natives to
Nah,
vote. I'm telling you the
I
truth. Trust
know.
me.
Look, in
What's your
American
point?
history, bang,
No,
bang.
no.
The
My point
natives
is
were
no,
not.
no.
They were not U.S. citizens until later.
My point is how you said both sides, like you can't differentiate both sides. You said both sides was equally wrong, right? But then at the same time, you fought for civil rights in this country in 1963, right? At the same time, you said
Mhm.
y'all put bloods into it and stuff like that. But then how can you justify when you had Africans that wasn't voting under your people? Your people make sure these Africans did not vote it.
Where in Liberia,
Yes. How can you
I
say
would
it's equal then?
I would say like they let okay that's fair to say they let prominent right they let prominent Africans enter into the
Don't
government,
twist it, don't twist it, man. You
and one
twisted
of
it.
them
It's
was
the same thing.
wait one of them was James. He ran for
It's
president actually.
no. It's the same thing.
He's a massacre.
Dinus did about 2 days ago, right? He
Yeah.
did a topic about Liberia. So he had some black lady that came up there as that was gonna kiss the American Liberia asses. I was like, these are the
Do
same
you
black
think
folks that always complain about
do you
white
think
people in America what they
do
do
you
to
think
them. That's what
the
I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
do you think the ethnic groups wanted
The truth is the
to
truth. Coffee,
it
coffee.
is the
The
truth,
truth
but do
is
you
the
think they
truth,
wanted
man.
to
Coffee, man.
participate?
See, this is the problem. The
Do
truth
you
is the
think they
truth.
wanted to participate in those funny black people's
No,
government?
your people make sure, with the help of the white people,
Yeah.
these people stay, behind y'all. Your
I
people
mean, they didn't
subjugated those
know.
people.
I mean, the
No,
ethnic
they
groups,
knew
they didn't
everything.
know.
Coffee. You see, you come up here and say, "Oh, the civil
We
rights,
didn't
my
know.
people fought for it. We bled for it. It didn't give it to us.
They
We were gonna
couldn't
keep
speak the
fighting
same.
and all
They
these
couldn't speak
things."
the same language. Hold
Civil
on.
right, civil
Hold
right.
on. Hold on.
That's what you said.
It's
Civil right,
complicated. They couldn't speak the
civil right.
same. They
Oh,
couldn't
so
speak
now
the
it's
same
complicated.
language.
Now
Let's
it's complicated.
It
look.
Oh my
is.
God. Now it's complicated.
Coffee,
And then you say that they're not
They didn't
voting.
know
You
they was
entered.
voting. They didn't know no
I mean,
votes was taking place in
Epidemics, man.
1880.
Hold on,
Oh,
coffee.
Dinus
You
did
walked yourself straight into that pickle jar.
No,
Let's
this is a good. No, this is a good. No, this that was a great
look,
question. That was a
yeah,
great question.
you walked yourself straight into
I
that
don't
pickle
get it,
jar.
man.
Let's do our closing statements
That
Yeah,
on
was a
I
that
great
don't
note.
get it.
question.
Yes, let's do our closing statements on
Okay,
that note. Yeah,
good
all
question,
right.
man.
Yeah, I know. Okay, closing statements so we can leave.
Yeah, go ahead, Coffee.
Um,
Yeah, Kofi came and G checked your lack of African accent there.
Ah,
I think. I
I
mean,
lost
we
the
could
years
all
ago, man.
right. For the most part, the world could all speak English, right? And if not, we could translate something from our language, something from our indigenous language into English, so everyone understands each other now. Now we're all communicating, and we get to have these debates fairly. And that last question, yes, like I'm as a person who championed Liberia and the True Wig, I'm looking for bias now because I know these people wasn't perfect. I'm looking for the bias, and I'm
Which
even putting
people?
myself.
You mean the black colonizers?
Yeah, you see how
I
you
can't
see
call them
how you see how
colonizers,
he
man.
ain't named it.
Uh,
I just can't call them colonizers. That's crazy.
okay, go
Maybe
ahead. Sorry,
because
sorry
if,
for
if they're
interrupting.
colonizers, then I'm a colonizer to Ghana.
No, you're not a colonizer. You haven't. You can't change their culture, their language. They already speak English.
It's just
Ghana is fully established. You can't
yeah,
colonize a place that's already established, got their
right,
own government, laws going. You know.
right. What comes around goes around. If those people wasn't firmly enslaved, they would never learn the English like needed to then colonize onto those indigenous people. So
So it's the
it's
indigenous people's fault, huh?
no, it's just a cycle. To me, it's just a cycle.
Man,
It's a
Carla, where
cycle.
you at, man? Come
It's an
save
inevitable
Coffee.
cycle. And just like he posed that question back on me, right? It's an inevitable cycle. So there's some bad Africans and some good Africans. There's some bad African Americans. There's some good African Americans. That's just what it is.
Thank you, Kofi.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, bang. Close it quick so we can have St. James too.
No problem. I mean, it's funny how they love protecting Liberia. They don't say Liberia is colonized and stuff like that. I mean, quick story, right? The United States government wanted access to West Africa, so they used these former slaves as a shield. So these former slaves was the middleman. That was the reason why they said, "Oh, we going back to Africa." No, they used these former slaves because the United States wanted access in West Africa because during this time you had the British, you had the French, and then you had the Portuguese that was dominating West Africa. That's why. So they founded the perfect Uncle Toms. They were the perfect Uncle Toms. They did all these things for like 140 years. So thank you, Samuel Odo. Samuel Odo, you're gonna be an African for life, man. Thank you. These American Liberians will never rule Liberia again. Never, never, never. Because you heard, just like how Damos, what's his name, did a show on YouTube, I think 2 days ago. He was so biased. I said, I can't believe this dude. And then these are the same Americans telling you about, oh, white people this, white people that, white people did. But then something that your people did, you want to dilute it and say, oh, I can't take it this. Come on, man. That's BS. That's BS. But those guys on those shows, they fools, man. I would never be a Jamaican and then allow somebody to disrespect my people like that. I would never do that. And then you're going to say, oh, my father is Jamaican. So, I'm a half FBA. What the hell is that? Come on, man. Anyway, have a downs, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Bang. Enjoy. All right, St. James, you got the floor. St. James, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got the closing statement.
Well, that was quite a good show, and then I'm glad I was here to add my 2 cents to it. And thank you for having me, and see you later.
Thank you, St. James. Have a good one.
Thank you, you too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna bring us to the end of the late Friday show. I hope to see you guys on the next one. We're gonna touch on Cameroon. The Congo, the former president of Congo, have been convicted. To to death. He's sent to death, but he's not even caring about it. He's living amongst the rebels in the eastern part of Congo. So that also is going to make things, a bit crazy. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, clearly, on that show, it looks like it's a Caribbean tether show with, one moist FBA, over there doing FBA and tether babble. The whole time they couldn't answer the question, but 9 out of 10 times this is what you run into. So when you see it, recognize it and know how to tackle the conversation. Hopefully with some of these topics we tackle here, it would help spread the knowledge and start getting people to think for themselves instead of allowing their emotions to control them or continue to hate on Africans. And not only Africans, it seems like a persistent hatred for other people. So hopefully, people can learn how to properly communicate and answer questions when people ask you. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
Lend thy ears to the Afridamers. Pay attention to the Afridamers. The chief's an Inca warrior. Naturalist his intelligence. As a true professor. Solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afridamers will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afridamers will clear your doubts here. always log on to the Afridamos. Lend thy ears to the Afridamos is the truth and no doubt the Saninke